Anybody remember where we left off?
I entered the darkness.
We just killed some
Killed
vampire.
some vampires.
Oh,
Main
yeah.
vampire.
You killed a vampire. This is true.
And I think we tried to disarm the traps, or maybe disarm the traps. I don't know.
You destroyed them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we took down some
Killed them.
obelisks.
Yep.
Some vampires. Got a wall.
Find yourselves in the catacomb under House Veldaria.
My cat is hurt.
Was
Yes.
the vampire Baldarian looking?
Yeah, did he have a faint air of Baldaria about him?
I'm trying to stick my fingers in the
Remove
fucking
that.
group food.
My hand keeps wanting to go like this.
Just drink.
You're supposed to be like, never mind now. Yeah.
Did we loot him?
Was there an exit from there?
Did we loot? We looted.
We loot.
Yeah, I remember I
Did
grabbed
we get anything good?
a sword of some kind.
Yeah, I think so. Let me just make sure.
As long as somebody has the sword, then I know you looted what was there.
I didn't pick up shit.
Not uncommon, bro.
There wasn't a whole lot.
Well, he's looking. Was there an exit to the place, or was it just back where he came?
Sir.
I mean, obvious
There's
exit.
not. Is there another door out of the room you're in?
Yes.
No.
I don't think I have a sword written down here.
Is there a-
Belleville has it.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
there a
never mind.
secret door that we don't see? Oh, okay. Just checking.
Can I take your fangs? Or did they turn into dust?
They turn into dust.
Damn it! No necklace.
If you put the dust into a little like
Or
a
fake
vial on a pendant,
It's all part of the Commodro's disguise.
just take the dust and just throw it at you. Like, it's part of my disguise.
I know you guys are
Oh,
hiding vampires.
Vampire
I'm a
dust might
vampire
be
myself.
valuable.
Pocket sand.
I'm gonna escape now.
Oh, it's carcinogenic. 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 Yeah, that's the
It
word.
only cause cancer in California.
Yeah. I'm gonna look around this tomb to see if there's any type of.
Are you gonna raid it?
I'm just gonna look for like books or anything like this. Usually
really-
vampires maybe have something down here.
Rather crafty of you.
So you're gonna search the room that you were in.
Yeah, and go back to some of the tombs to see if there's any markings or anything like that. But obviously, it's probably the Baldarian family crypt.
Yes. Yeah. You guys had already poked around there.
Okay. So,
As far as the chamber that you were just in with Lord Vildaria, once the voice boomed in the room, then there's nothing especially remarkable. Just the sacrificial altar the vampire was standing on, a empty pedestal where the voice came from, and then it's very ornately decorated, but
Did the temple or the altar have like any gods associated with it, like
No.
next to or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So that's why we came here, right?
We're looking for the gem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any gem-like holding ornaments or?
no, nothing
Any red glow?
that would.
Was there a fireplace?
No, you're in a catacomb crypt.
Or not like a manhole type thing?
Desperate graves.
Let's confront.
Was there any sort of like in piece
Slap
and
it
just
around.
wall?
Slap
It was just a wall. It looked like a fireplace because
That's what I
that
was
was the
wondering.
piece I had, but
Okay, that's what I was
It
wondering.
wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
but it's not because there was a fireplace there.
Do we open any of the coffins?
The
Yeah, there's
sarcophagi?
nothing
Yeah.
in it.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Do we need to go back and slap the corpses around?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really ultimately up to you.
That Tom girl's fine.
We should probably clear this area.
Defiling graves is.
Talk to the undead killers over here. What are you gonna
We
do?
should
Sanctify
probably-
it.
They're all
You wanna-
dead.
you wanna crack open
We
a cold
didn't
one?
open this sarcophagus.
You don't have to fucking like.
So?
Okay.
I can
They
detect
might
evil.
be sleeping in there.
Do you have to purify them
Evil
by
never sleeps.
jizz on the
They
corpses?
might be lying
Purify
in
them.
wait inside.
Kevin did some detecting of evil while you were going through.
Yeah, he didn't send shit.
Let's go confront the manservant.
And then we
Heal
found
you.
out there were vampires down there.
Alright, we charge back upstairs.
Heal us first.
We don't just walk, we
I'm
charge.
Burst through the door, make sure everyone sees. Oh, you guys
12
came from the basement,
plus
huh?
5.
Wait, before we go, let's
12
grab a skull.
That's
Just
what you get.
for effect.
12 plus physif.
Here's your grandfather. Ah!
All right, are you content with your healing, Kevin?
Does your lion need anything?
My lion's down 2 levels and.
Okay. I'll use
Yeah,
my
he's
wand.
got level drained.
I got a
Wait,
wand.
don't
I'm
worry
just
about
I'm just
lion.
gonna throw this out there. Is he could dismiss the lion to heal on the astral plane,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Bye, lion.
Lion's gonna disappear into the ether.
You're going to release him to.
Yeah. I'm gonna say thank you for clearing the way for us.
He just says thanks. No, these fucking douchebags.
I say bye, kitty. Bye,
Bye, kitty.
Bye, puss, puss.
Grab his tail as he's going to the portal.
Yeah.
You just hear,
I'll have some nice fish for you when you come back.
So you're gonna make your way back down the hallway and head towards the upstairs.
Could always just get a box for him.
yes.
Okay. As you enter the room,
I know you can't resist.
the first room you entered into, you can already hear that there's very much commotion upstairs.
Does anybody want this?
What is this?
Send the
It's a
rogue
mochi
up.
Have
stick.
then.
Mozzarella stick.
Send the rogue up to scout.
Okay. I'll try to hide.
Okay.
Wait.
Where's your die?
Shit.
Here.
Thank
Buy mine. You got a shitty roll.
Terrible. Let's see. 14.
All right. You're fairly certain you're good in hiding.
And I'll try to move silently. Oh my god.
You roll
Turn the
even
candelabra,
worse.
just
Maybe
holding
you
it up
need
like-
Maybe you
the
need your own
sparkly
dice.
die.
Maybe you just need your own dice.
I'm not gonna.
I think I'm
Hello, Christmas
hiding.
present.
I think I'm hiding. I think I'm hiding.
So 12.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're hiding. You're moving very silently. You can borrow mine.
Well, mine are right over there. I just.
He didn't want to
He
get
has
him to
dice.
get
He's
them.
just.
Oh, okay.
Look, it's the white die.
Fancy.
Pretend they're made out of.
What do I hear? Like,
Elephant
what kind of
tusks.
commotion?
Pure
Can I pick
seminal
out
fluid.
anything?
Roll a listen.
What?
Pure seminal fluid.
Me too.
No.
Nat 20, so I hear
I hear
everything.
nothing.
Oh,
Wait.
Well, you're not hearing everything just because it's.
I roll a 19.
If these were made out of seminal fluid,
Ah!
and you roll them and be like jizz.
23 for a
I can
listen?
hear your
Or roll a
cells
couple.
dividing.
Bukkake.
28.
23.
We got distracted there.
You can tell that it's a lot of it is very confused banter and there's voice, some people trying to calm people down, and
Oh, the lights are out.
Cormac.
Oh, here's the wall.
Cormac's actually fairly angry that there's vampires in this house.
What? Why are they in commotion? Do we know why? Not only.
It's just a lot of
He's
noise.
gonna stalk up the stairs angry.
I try to go ahead of him and not like sneak in so they don't see me first.
Just wave your finger at the first person you see. Like,
Lord Bathroom's gonna enter in a huff.
Mark, you emerge first, and you can see various figures. Like, let me get back up to the top. I had to scroll down to the bottom.
Is it, by the way, is it a hallway or is it like an entranceway? Or?
You emerge into a hallway.
Okay. I tried to play the well.
I do way
My
too
next step
much.
is to dip into a room.
Like, he'll be
Just-
playing Dokkan Battle and he'll be like this the whole time.
So, for example, I guess one of the notable things you
Why did
see
it stop curling?
is the blacksmith, who I believe you met.
I think so, yeah.
You got a roller?
He's physically being restrained by one of the guards,
Gray one. Cool.
and
Well,
he's very much ranting about, you know, what day is it? What's going
He's a
on?
thrall.
Okay.
Smell.
You were under.
He was under the
Or
spell.
charmed.
but now
Probably
he's
I will
free.
try-
person.
we saved them all.
One of the three is like, dominate. Now that I think about it, it's probably the.
I'll try to slip into a room if there's any open doors or places I can get to without causing a ruckus.
It's chaos up there, Mark.
They're not
Well,
gonna notice.
Even with your crappy hide, you can pretty much go wherever you want to go.
Well, chaos is relative. I mean, like,
Well, it's
anarchy.
there's a lot of
So a lot of yelling.
ultimately,
Right.
as you all emerge, you kind of slip into one of the dining chambers on the side, and as you others emerge, ultimately, within the immediate, not the immediate area, but based on what you can hear and see, the steward the blacksmith, who is right near. The master of arms was the fighter. The fighter is freaking out because he's demanding to know where his allies are.
Companions are.
Yep. And interestingly enough, Lord Bathrobe, the the rich spice trader, her manservant is very, very vocal right now about, how much time has passed. We have to get back to the business. Very, this being the man who
Didn't say anything.
was straight up and stoical before.
All right. I'm gonna go to that dude and be like, "My good sir, if you would bring your mistress to me, I can clearly illuminate you on what transpired. If you don't remember, I am Lord Bathcombe at your service."
Did your accent change since last time?
Sure. Hope he does.
So you're gonna step into one of the side, like the dining chambers.
Yeah, try and get him in see if his mistress will come along too, or wherever she is. And
She's the one he was talking to. So
okay, yeah, and give him the 411 on the skinny and the down low. However, the bard, is he already saying?
the bard isn't anywhere to be found right now.
He is fled.
George,
Not
did we
necessarily.
bring his the cleric's body in with us, or do we just what did a robot do with it?
He reburied it.
Okay,
He brought the vestments.
The
The vestments are in your room.
okay. Jorganel's gonna go over to the guard dude fucker and tell him that there's something you need to see in our room.
I've got something in my bedroom for
Got
you.
something to show you.
Yeah, I know where at least one of your allies is. It's in my room.
It's in my room.
It's not gonna backfire at all.
Drink this.
Does this rag smell like chloroform?
Yeah, this barn rag smell like chloroform. Later on, you just see like the body like in the hallway and Jordan. Nothing to see here, laddie. Anyways, that's what they're doing.
All right. What's everybody else doing? Anything? Something?
Go check on
Probably upset.
I'll try to.
the stable
We're gonna
boys.
go confront the
I made friends with them, so I need to check on their
They
family.
are.
My cleric will join my rogue, and we'll try to
I gotta
Talk
check
to
out
the
my boys.
blacksmith.
I mean the boys.
try to calm him down and just say that, hey, what was going on? Like, ask him questions.
Cormac is demanding where the steward is. He wants to talk to him right now.
You're actually greeted by, when you ask for the steward, another, obviously, very well dressed man. Whoever you found, kitchen staff or cleaning maid, whoever it is, gets you a different man that you guys actually didn't meet. And he introduces himself as the Chamberlain. And
This is exactly what I do. Still narrow my eyes.
He-
Where's the man
They
that
have
was here
some
previous?
attractive and less
the
attractive
steward is
men.
still here.
Can't be
The
hitting 9
steward-
7 days a week.
Is trying to kind of piece together what happened. The Chamberlain's more than willing to take you to him,
Okay.
but he's in his quarters with his family, basically.
Did we ever destroy that painting that charmed?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It was too strong.
Everybody knew about that, right?
Most of us, I think.
I was in there.
I didn't know.
I dragged you away from it, so
Okay. Yeah, I knew you guys did, but I didn't. Okay.
We
Those
tried to
guys
dispel it.
yeah, we failed at dispelling it.
We came in just as you guys were.
Oh yeah, we told you about it. Okay. We're like, hey,
We're
there's
like,
a crazy
don't
painting
touch
by.
that.
Don't touch a crazy painting.
Let's go from the side.
You don't understand. You don't understand art. You just don't want to ignore that. Just be away from it. It will overwhelm you.
It's very ugly. It's a very ugly painting.
Close enough.
Not even close.
I didn't say it was close.
That's this weekend's project.
Just waiting for you one time just to throw something over there and just like bounce off and hit you with
All right.
the car.
Alright.
Belleville can't talk to anybody, so it doesn't matter.
Outside.
Go to find my bird. No, spell
Caw. Bird. step outside and you're just, ugh.
All right, we'll start with you, Guy. Guy, you reach
Funny? Okay.
the stables, and the ostler and his wife are out front, and the ostler's
The spell's been lifted.
the ostler is explaining to the best of what he knows that some spell has been lifted on some of the staff, and it's kind of chaotic in the house. Keep the boys inside.
I'll just give him a brief rundown of what we did.
All right, you're gonna tell the ostler, and he's obviously shocked and at the same time dismayed a little bit.
Can he remember anything? Or like, what's the last thing he can remember?
He remembers everything.
Okay. Did he notice anything strange, like recently, to happen? Like something that might have caused this or triggered it, or
How long they've been there feeding off the staff.
Just hold that thought, because I'm gonna assume everybody's gonna get to a similar point, but Ross, whichever you want to start with, talking to whoever you want to start with.
Let's start with the room.
The fighter? Okay. So you reach the door to your room.
Motion him in. After you, good sir. And he hears the audible
Click.
roll. Listen. No, I tell him that we found, as we're walking up to the room, I tell him that we found some vestments, and the bard that was here was saying that he was part of a party that had come here, and that you stayed and he stayed, but everyone else supposedly left. But we found these vestments buried in the maze, and then I show him the vestments.
And when you mentioned the bard, he visibly gets, there's joy in his eyes that one of his friends is present. And you continue the explanation, and then you show him the vestments, and it's obvious that he's seasoned. It's disheartening to him, the joy that the mention of the bard brings. Obviously has diminished some, and basically his thing is that while that's not. No, I was just catching up.
No, not
it hit. Chalm was the name of the cleric.
Yeah.
It looks very similar to the vestments he would have worn. He obviously has hopes that they belong to someone else, but
I don't think I was present when they dug up the body.
No,
no.
Robot was the only one.
Yeah, robot dug it up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell him that if he wants to find out where it is, the recalcitrant dwarf that you probably, the other one will be the one to interrogate as to where he found the body in the maze.
Okay. Bard.
Oh yes, is very forthcoming and telling the lady, patting her hand like, "Madam, I must tell you to calm yourself, and we all shall be explained in due course." Yes, yes, yes. And then I tell her about, we arrived here. Nothing about the gems of Hexer, that we clearly could see that there was some sort of spell at work. Something was remiss, and so we introduced. Yeah, I asked her if she remembers anything about me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she ultimately, she's less distracted by the chaos in your dealings with her, and more distracted by the fact that the bard isn't anywhere to be found.
Okay.
She really doesn't care that this house is in chaos.
Yeah. And then
The manservant, however,
Yeah.
is very intently listening to you, and when you mention, the vampire went on, he visibly spits on the carpet, and it's obvious he's disgusted by it, and he shares that he has no memory of You know, the past 4 to 5 weeks at least.
Okay.
He can't say, but he was in a haze more or less.
Okay, so we're gonna play off that a little bit, picking up on that, and giving him the explanation of what we found in the catacombs and how things went down, and if he's noticed anything, like what happened presumably when we killed the main vampire. Did anything happen odd up here? If he noticed anything?
From a timing standpoint, that's when he kind of everything became clear again,
Yep.
and reality kind of reestablished itself. The last thing he clearly remembers is speaking to Lord Valdaria.
Is he more forthcoming with why they came here? And...
Probably not with her present.
Okay.
He obviously, they're spice traders. The lady wanted to go, into the wilderness to see the fine houses because she's rich. I mean, she didn't need another reason.
So
he wanted to stay and ensure the business continued to flow properly, but...
Is he like the brains behind the business? Can I pick that up? A roll perception or, I don't know, something? I don't know what I would
Diplomacy.
Sure.
Sense motive it would be.
That's motive. That's not gonna be great.
On a side note, did that vampire burst into light when you killed it? Is there a bright
Light?
flash?
No.
Okay.
No, he turned to dust.
No, you haven't got there yet, Mark.
Okay. I
rolled
keep thinking I'm
feats on
missing
sense
it.
motive, so.
And you're trying to sense if he's the brains?
Yeah, even though, for how...
The feeling you get out of it is that she probably is a very shrewd businesswoman, but too shrewd.
Mhm.
He probably keeps the affairs in order and is probably the one giving the directions, but not necessarily the one that understands the best way to run the business.
Okay.
He has a lot of
They need
affairs.
each other
Alright.
to survive.
Well, I'm gonna, say, to the manservant, clearly all this is overwhelming, so possibly maybe some other time we could sit down over a carafe of wine or something and discuss both what happened and kind of go over some of the mutual possible business opportunities you may have with whatever my wood services
Logging
thingy
stuff.
is.
And you, while you're doing this, it's obvious that part of him is disgusted at the fact that this chaos is going on and you're suggesting business. Part of him is actually kind of shocked by it as well.
Yep.
Everybody's running around behind you, and you're just like, if you want to work out a deal here.
Very soon afterwards, probably things calm down. Am I right and correct?
It's up to he's like it. It's up to the lady.
I did not like dealing with these people. Yeah, I'm just gonna get Jorgen on here and beat the shit out of one of them.
Do it.
Yeah.
Kevin, we'll move forward a little bit. The Chamberlain is very kindly.
Bring me to him.
He's that's what he's doing. He's escorting you. And you travel to the second floor of the West Wing, a place where you haven't been before. But it's very much just a better decorated version of the wing you're staying in. And he brings you to a door, and as you approach the door, there's very clearly there's a guard at the door, and you can hear an elderly woman just browbeating the shit out of somebody beyond the door. And he goes to the door and he knocks on it, and confusion and pain and loss and all kinds of negative emotion very etched in his face.
Who's the lady?
And there's inside the room there's an old woman sitting in a chair.
Who this bitch?
I was just gonna say, who this bitch? Kick him. No.
Who is it? What do you want?
I don't think the soup had anything to do with this.
Yeah, Cormac's anger kind of gets smothered a little bit by how
The seed.
distracted. Can I sense motive and make sure this is real?
Yeah.
I rolled very poorly, so I believe it's real.
It's very real.
I also rolled very poorly.
You both. It's very, very real.
It's very real.
I'm gonna straight to the point. Because
Explain to me what happened, because we just killed a vampire in your basement.
And the steward turns and says to the woman in the chair, Mother, you can continue to verbally scold me later. Could you please excuse us? I'd like to speak to these guests. And the old woman makes some cock-snide comment and gets up very slowly like old people do and kind of hobbles off through a door into another room. And then the steward invites you to sit down, and the chamberlain looks to the steward and says, by your leave, sir. And the steward... the steward turns to you guys first to get permission. It's very clear that he's trying to get permission from you guys to let the chamberlain go.
Yeah.
And the chamberlain bows to you guys, thanks you, bows to the steward, thanks him, and kind of scurries off. And the steward begins his story, which will kind of explain everything to everybody. But so we'll move on to you, Mark. You guys were talking to the blacksmith.
I'm gonna say, yeah, we fought a vampire in the basement. It sucked. Want to tell us more? And now the lines connect and we can all learn at once.
Where is Mark? -100.
Damn it.
Start rolling d6s, and you get hit by a lightning bolt.
Someone just cast fireball in that room.
There's an open window and a lightning bolt streaks in and hits you.
So, the story in a nutshell. I'm not going to read through 6,000 pages of text that I have here,
But
because
it's Donut November.
Why not?
So that's the worst month I've ever heard of.
There's
Did you see the Facebook post about some kid was posting on Donut November and his grandma got on there? What do you mean you're allergic to nuts? I have to modify all my baking recipes for Christmas. Please let me know. Get back to me.
He's like, oh dear God.
Oh. So, basically, in more concise manner, about 5 to 7 weeks ago, well before this, the forest to the south was beginning to darken, and Lord Valdaria was trying to solve it. He actually stopped traffic through the southern woods for the safety of everyone. And then about 5 to 7 weeks ago, a very wealthy man, a Lord Devitrius, showed up. And suddenly Lord Valdaria became a little bit more... They had a private conference. And they... and then Valdaria became a lot more reserved. He still was very benevolent to his people, but he was less present, and he began traveling more. And basically after the meeting, Devitrius left, and he only remembers parts and pieces of that. After that, he went and talked to the Lord, and then he kind of is a haze after that.
Happened to notice that if Lord never came out during the day anymore.
He couldn't say, because it was very soon after that everything goes hazy. He can't say one way or another. He definitely never saw it. And that was at the point when basically Valdaria spent a lot more time at his various hunting locales and on the roads to the north.
What did this lord that came to visit you look like?
Pasty white.
bald, big teeth.
Big teeth. 2 big teeth.
He hissed a lot.
He was a elderly man, came in a carriage, very elegantly dressed, but
He seemed rather flighty.
-200.
It's just
Did we kill Lord Valdaria or whatever?
No.
Was that him? And
I
the
don't know,
vampire?
was it?
What does Valdaria look
Did his
like?
picture look very similar to ones in the hall in the?
Yeah, do we recognize him from a photo location?
Did you guys ever look at a portrait of Valdaria?
I don't know. He looked at the cursed one.
He looked at photo. You in the art gallery. You looked at art. He matched portraits in the gallery.
Okay, that guy we killed.
Yeah, the guy
Okay.
you killed did. That doesn't necessarily mean it's
Yeah,
Lord
it's
Val.
Lord Valdaria.
Whoa.
Valdaria.
Okay, come on. Continue the exposition.
But that ultimately is the last thing he remembers. Did you share that you shared there's a vampire in the basement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We killed him.
And obviously, you know, while he's dealing with this stuff, he's obviously very much relieved that if there was a threat like that, it's obvious that he has his heart is set on taking care of the house even before taking care of himself. You know, and he's as he's babbling through his story, anytime the vampire comes up, he continually thanks you. It's based on your sense motive. It's very much, it's honest.
Yeah, because we rolled like 6.
Hold on, you got it for coin.
Where's that old bitch?
Alright.
I'm
After
gonna
that,
look around the room.
I,
So
my
see
rogue will be like,
pictures.
hey, I'm gonna go check. He goes back to the art gallery and like takes a look around at the portraits and finds one of Lord
You
Valdaria.
find the one that what's underneath this sheet? Aw.
Well,
I
you
would
know-
assume you're not that dumb.
Well, you know, no,
You're pretty smart. I know.
I wouldn't go that far.
God damn it again, Rogue.
Actually, yeah, it's decent.
Yeah, I know. That definitely matches paintings in the gallery.
Okay, I go and
How old? Can you tell how old those paintings are?
I'll find them and tell them.
I mean, it's not exact.
Right. Similar.
They're definitely similar, and there's you know.
Let's ask
Who's,
the steward about this painting
Who's
too.
who's the old lady that was yelling at you?
His mother.
Yeah, it's his mother.
What does she have to do with the house? Is she like,
She's
She's
just
a
his
lady.
mother. She lives here.
well,
Lady of the house.
His father was the steward before him.
okay. So
What's her story? Is she single?
Yeah, she might be one of those demons.
No.
She's like a human hellhound.
She spends most of her time
Goddamn succubus.
with working with the steward's wife and
She's-
his children,
She's a
more or less
succubus,
keeping them in line.
but she didn't. She
She
didn't age
sounds
well.
like a bitch.
Always up in your business. Business is good. You business.
Had you guys prior inquired about the steward at all, you would have found out that yes, she is indeed a huge bitch.
Okay.
Most people don't like her.
Should we inquire about the curse painting? Like, if he knows what that's about.
Curse. Action Hank doll.
I'll mention that the vampire looked similar, very similar to some of the paintings in the gallery. I was down there. I was in there.
Yep.
Dude,
And-
I burst in the room and I was just like, "Hey, it was Lord Valdaria all along."
I don't know that.
He
Well, I actually went and looked at the paintings.
the steward is obvious. You know, he's not an idiot,
Right.
and he's kind of put one and one together, and he obviously states that he fears the worst, and his concerns now are for the house.
Who's the next in line? Right, I'm not there.
Oh. I asked him if we should
I
What?
feel you guys should because I
What?
just overheard it.
if we
about the
should
painting.
ask about the cursed painting.
You're there.
Well, but I walk in
He
the
just
room
burst in and goes, "It was Valdaria."
What the fuck's up with that painting?
and okay, yeah. Oh yeah, there's
What's
another
up with
painting.
that cursed
It
painting?
haunts my dreams.
You and I, we should light an arrow.
Just
Wish
go,
to
just go
burn
over
it.
and grab him by the coat and like, "What do you know? Tell me everything." Not
Where
really.
are the drugs going?
No, not doing it for you. No.
He doesn't know what painting you speak of.
Okay.
Let me show you.
Covered one. It's the covered
Alright.
one. Don't look at the covered one.
That painting is naughty, naughty. No looky, looky.
Bernie Bernie.
You look at it and you start drooling and pinch
Oh,
yourself.
I don't know. What else? Pause here and go up to
Do you,
someone else.
do you know when the Lord is due to be back? I know you've mentioned this before, but
At this point, he only has like the clouded visions, and based on the pieces that do come to him, it's obviously not all clear. It's just kind of parts and pieces. He thought the Lord had returned from his hunting trip.
To the hunting cabin. The cabin of Hexter.
The hunt is on.
Do you fear that your lord was the vampire in the basement that we murdered?
Based on his,
Murder.
It's true. He told us.
His description.
based on putting the pieces together in the way that you guys have described it, and the situation in the house right now, he's facing the facts. He assumes that's what happened, and he basically had used his ability to dominate key members of the house to keep the house running as he saw fit.
Put your hand on his shoulder and just be like, sorry for your loss.
Who's next in line? Who's gonna be running this house?
That is his concern.
He has no
Veldari
parents.
has no family.
Through distant lines, she's actually related to Lord Bathcombe.
You just walk in and be like, I'm your liege now.
How old can I bluff my way out of this? If I had glibness, yes.
I feel like I've heard of Lord
forgery.
Bathcombe.
You have anything in forgery? Forge yourself up a writ of patronage or whatever.
No, but I'm sure I could find someone to do it.
I have 2 in forgery. Just saying.
Give it a shot.
We have a new base.
Just turn around in the room with the steward. Look what I found.
Throw on a napkin. It'd just be
Will you
hand it to him,
accept this?
and then hand him like a gold piece or 2, and just be like, here,
Look at
trust.
Look at me. I'm the captain. Oh, could be done. It could be done.
All right. Well,
I don't know.
nice knowing you.
That'd be
Any
it.
other questions I should ask? I don't
I
know.
don't think so. I think for now we're good.
Seem
We
good.
can always find him again.
Does he know of the gem of Hexter?
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, well.
Have you seen a big ass gem?
That's actually not a bad. Our original quest here, we're looking for a large magical item. Have you seen? Remember anything? Maybe it happened during your hazy phasey, but.
At your mention of this magic item, he goes, of course, even a paladin would require a reward. We do have, well, prior to my haze, we do have some items of value in the vaults below. I'd be more than happy to escort you down there. You're more than welcome to take whatever you'd like, given the fact that you did rescue the household. And you can see that he's torn by this fact. Just in his eyes,
Don't rob
it's
the house.
well,
He
it's
doesn't want to give everything.
he's willing to give you guys a reward,
Right.
but he's kind of trying to weigh the options. And he stops as he gets up. He starts to walk towards the door, and he stops and he turns to you he basically addresses the fact that you're a paladin, and he pleads with your
Self-righteous.
your belief in doing what's right.
Yes.
And he says, anything in the vault, all of the magic items, you're more than welcome to. They do nothing to enhance what we can do within the household. I only ask that you let me keep what meager coin is down there to keep the house running until it's determined who will be the successor.
We don't have
we don't
need
need your coin.
Throw some coin at him.
Says you.
F that.
Magic items.
And with that, he
Bathtub, you'll be fine.
No,
I'll just keep
roll,
quiet.
go
Just
Scrooge
go
McDuck
down there and be
in
like, I want this, and this, and this, and I got a tiara now.
he
We should just tease the rogue and show him the vault and say, not for you.
It's gonna be the whole Aladdin inside.
as
the
he steps
Cave
out
of
the door,
Wonders.
he beckons you guys to follow. And as he steps out the door, he turns to one of the servants that's running in the hall, and he says,
Slow
Please.
down.
Walk in the hallway.
"No running in the pool area." He says,
You'll fall and chip your tooth.
please find Ronder. And
Help me, Ronder. Help
the
me.
it only takes moments before a very large man, older, in very much in armor and not like with sword drawn,
Right.
but you can tell he's on edge.
Ronder the barbarian.
He also, given the fact of your knowledge of nobility and what goes on, it's very clear that he is the captain of the guard.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
What happened to the other captain of the guard?
he was the master of arms. There's a difference.
Oh. What the fuck?
Get it right.
Or bath comb. Ah!
And when he approaches, he comes up to the steward, and you can see a very similar look in his face, a sense of loss. And, you've summoned me, sir. And the steward says that, obviously, they've handled a situation here. They should be rightly compensated. Let's take them down to the vaults, let them take what they'd like. And it's very clear that while on one side he understands that it is an order and that it is right that you guys should be rewarded, but
It's like 9 of us.
he
Conflicted.
9 rewards.
he nonetheless agrees to escort you. And he asks you, there's the 3 of you are there, if you'd like him to, send the servants and you can gather your party to help carry that which...
Should we only take,
Receipt.
should we only
Deem
take
acceptable.
one item each?
Depends what's down
One
there.
magic
Are we all
item?
there?
No.
Not yet.
Well, we better be. I gotta praise
No,
the
we're
shit out of
just
this.
we're gonna decide for the whole crew.
I roll listen, I hear through the floors. What loot? Okay.
Your loot sense
I feel
tingles.
like we need to converse with everyone and just let them know to keep it to
well,
an item only.
Yay, goody goody.
Let's there's servants running around. Or
Well,
the
there
main-
are some.
The main guy.
Yep.
I'll ask him if he would be so kind as to send servants to
Gather
gather
the
our
party.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody kind of, a little bit of time passes. The steward is
We're all talking.
excused himself and stepped back into the room. The door is open. You can see that he's very crestfallen, sitting in the chair, hand on his head, just deep in thought and contemplation.
He just comes and finds us, and he's like, "I'm sorry, but you guys gotta get something." And it's like, "Loot, loot, yes!" Ah!
Once you've gathered the party, he makes his way to the cellar, which is once again locked. He unlocks the door to the cellar. You travel down. You go ways you didn't go because Ross found a secret door.
Yay.
And you make your way through into what is obviously kind of like a wine cellar, and take a hallway out of the wine cellar, and it very, very well kept, well lit. And you travel down. There's a kind of a guard post with a small desk. There's no one at it currently. He unlocks the door behind the guard post, and you step into a hallway. And at the end of the hallway, it opens up into an armory. And along each side of the hallway, there are
More vampires.
Who's running the
Roll
bit?
for initiative.
Platinum and
Four,
hours for mine.
Okay, more than
There's
one.
Before they
5
go
New
in.
England Patriots Super Bowl rings.
There's 5 doors off on each side, and they're heavy steel doors that are also, you can very clearly see there is locks on them. And he turns to you and says, "Sir, would you like to see the armory first, or would you like to see what's in the vaults?"
What's behind door number 2?
Tell everyone that the gold is off limits.
Yeah, no, we're not taking any coin. Should we? We don't want to bankrupt this house. How do you guys feel about one magical item each?
Are we still outside or did we?
No,
No, you
everyone-
guys are all
Everyone.
you've been gathered.
Just tap your shoulder and was like, "Loot."
They just lost their lord. We're not here to bankrupt them.
See my old alignment. Yeah, Tomadrill's good with that. And Jorgano? Yeah, he's going with that too.
She's like,
I'll
Damn it,
roll.
lawful good.
I can be convinced of such.
Take it.
See, I just tell you.
Yeah.
See how it is.
Well, I was there during the conversation, so I can understand.
Where's the robe in this relationship?
He's
Wonder why
he's
she's got 2 black eyes.
still standing, patiently awaiting your answer.
Sorry, we're conversing.
Yeah, no.
Not a great memory.
Conversing.
Did you understand now? No gold!
I ain't gonna be lawful good after this one.
Fell down a flight of stairs. One
We
at
gotta
each.
convince the rogue, I think, the most.
I haven't actually said I'm doing anything. I'm just like peaked of interest.
Hiding the massive erection.
Yeah. Sporting a good job. Saying
What? I actually got invited into a vault.
Smart in the chest.
What did you steal? You stole one thing. Did you like a vase or something?
I replaced it
He
Okay.
stole it and he put it in somebody else's room.
just to fuck with him. It was great.
Damn it, Stephen, you asshole! You stole my vase.
His name is Nathan.
No, they're yelling at each
Oh,
other.
okay.
Maybe that 9 that I tried to seduce will be more receptive now.
Okay,
What do you
so where are
remember
we
from
gonna go
last
first?
night?
The armory
oh,
first?
The armory is
Armory.
not behind a closed door.
Oh,
And he
is
says,
there magic
certainly.
stuff in the armory?
And when you enter the armory, it's very much what you'd expect in a standard armory. There's, suits of armor on racks and
Is it
spears and swords. Nothing that
labeled? Like
looks...
+1.
Nothing that looks... It's all very well maintained,
Right.
but nothing that looks exceptional.
Okay.
So,
Let's go look
screw that.
behind
Just-
door number 1!
I'm gonna detect magic.
You can keep detect magic up this whole time if you want. In the armory itself, nothing.
Okay.
I mean, there's items you guys have that you know are magical that would obviously glow, but as far as anything in the armory proper, there's nothing.
It's just a restock of basic.
Your armory is very impressive. Let's see the other shit.
Not that impressive.
36.
So he just turns and he's going room to room basically
Yep.
down the hallway.
Quiver.
He unlocks the first door and opens it, and inside the door there's a gate, like more of like a portcullis style, like bars, like prison bars. And behind the prison bars are various art objects, things that you might see on display in the gallery. Obviously,
Do I recall what that covered painting actually looked like? Okay.
Excuse me.
Just that you thought it was
It's
fucking
pure
awesome.
magic.
I was just like, oh, this is a greatness.
but yes, I mean it's filled with art objects that obviously have value. Ross can definitely define that they have value. They're not. It's not like they're $1 million pieces, but there is value within.
A giant portrait that's like this tall from the floor up. And just,
I want
You're like,
this.
This is going in my new house that I happen to bequeath.
or just take it and just bring it out there to the hall and just foot through it. Okay, here. That's
And
my reward.
the captain of the guard turns to you and says, "Sir, would you like to go in?"
It's terrible.
The
Nobody
next
got.
one.
Is there anything magical in here?
No,
Just
Ross
in
is
case.
detecting magic. I'll
Yeah,
let you know. And
Okay. It's a very fine gallery. Let's check the next
Got
one.
my divining rod out.
I'm not
Exquisite.
really artsy.
the next room, he opens the door, and it's very similar, but behind are shelves covered with gems and jewels and jewelry.
I'm gonna see if I notice anything that I happen to be looking for.
No,
Okay.
My rogue will step back there and look. Like, are these
18.
available? Like, or these? Yeah,
Did-
everything's available.
the steward said to give you whatever you guys wanted.
Okay.
It's like-
oh,
Yeah.
Is all the gems one item? Question.
They touch each other.
And we're like,
If
no,
I cover them
Nathan.
in cheese, are they all considered one gem?
okay. I will look for the most. Like what I would know is the most,
Most valuable.
expensive one.
What in your eyes?
Yes. And then while I do that, without anybody seeing, I'll
It's
try
like
to
this
slide
really
up another
huge
one.
one. He's like, ooh, but it's just
You
like.
they're behind a
dots.
gate.
They're behind gates.
He has to let you through the gate in order to get in there and pick
Well, I
something.
figured somebody would follow me in there and just like be around. But okay, then I'll
Yeah,
take
don't-
If you
Look
want,
through
I
the
mean, if
gate
you want to go
first.
in there, they'll let you in there.
Yes, I want to.
But do you want to see what else there is first? I mean, you're welcome to it all if you want it all.
My rogue will go in there. He wants to take a gem.
But
Except-
we're like,
Did you see
no,
a rabbit over
Nathan.
Well, you said I could take one thing.
All right,
otherwise-
so you've
I don't
picked a
want
gem.
the rogue.
Yes.
Okay.
I only have two.
Well, you're gonna try to get two. What was your sleight of hand?
On well,
19. is what he rolled.
Okay, if you rolled a 19, you
29. so
palm and 2 gems. Just write it on your character sheet. 2 gems from House Valaria.
yeah. Okay.
That's all that's important. And as you pick the gem up, you pick up this giant gemstone, and the captain is like, "Wise choice. You have a good eye. Well cut stone there. Anything else, sirs?"
Sounds like he's being
No.
full of shit.
It's called limestone.
It's very precious in the southern areas.
No, lead us
The
on.
largest chunk of lapis lazuli in it.
Mark stays in the center room with all the locked doors now. He's not allowed to follow us.
Why? That's
You're not-
untrustworthy.
you're
So-
not trustworthy.
We got that for fun.
All right, I know who I'm gonna steal from later.
Next room.
Next room.
All right.
God, if only we had
He closes back up, relocks the jewelry. He says, "If there's anything else you'd like from in there,
Just go
you're
ahead
welcome
and
to
let
it.
us-
Just let me know." And he kind of closes the doors and he's locking them.
Right.
Goes to the next door and he opens it, and this room has boxes with coin. Primarily copper. There's slightly less silver, slightly less gold, and then a box with some platinum and
No.
there's obviously funds in this room.
Yep. No, we're not.
Yeah, I'm not interested in coin.
We're not here for that.
Still no
Last room.
magic.
Last
Not the
room.
last room. Room
Oh.
number 4.
Next room.
I don't know those are for.
There's 5 rooms.
Damn it! I thought you said 3 of them were the armory rooms, though.
No.
Number 4.
That was
Well, obviously.
As they open the door, Ross, at this point it's just like no. Once once
There's
again,
something magic in there.
there's shelves. It isn't that much that's on the shelves. But he says, he put this is our magic repository where anything magical of value is kept.
I will peruse it.
Within the room, there are 6 scroll cases, a heavy steel shield, a long sword, 9 potions, a ring, 2 wands, and there's also a book on the far end, standing up vertically. It's very clear that it's very ancient. Very predominantly on the front of it is the symbol of Heronias.
Ooh.
Does this ring
I
perhaps
want
grant
that or the
one
shield.
point of strength?
How you
Huh?
sad
Does
that
this
you
ring
eliminated.
perhaps grant 1 point of strength?
No, it does not.
Damn it.
See if
But
it
you don't
makes
know
spot.
that.
Just
You,
go.
Can I try it
You
on?
appraise
Can I
it.
just try it on?
Try the book on?
No, the ring.
No, you can't just try the.
I have, like,
Can you tell me what the wands are?
Identify.
Mr. Magical fucking
yeah, I can.
appraising shit guy?
If they're divine wands, I can tell what they are.
Or you could ask the guy who's in
Yeah.
charge of it all.
Like, what are all these items? Do you know?
Tell me.
Is
Tell me
there-
now.
Do they have label makers that made labels?
They're not labeled, but he knows what the vaults hold.
Okay.
And based on he's very proud that he knows what everything is. And there's a story that goes along with each one that I will spare you because I did not write that story, but each thing has a story attached to it. The first scroll case contains 3 scrolls. They are arcane scrolls: Cause Fear, Summon Monster 1, and Spider Climb. The second case also contains arcane scrolls, one of Identify and one of Pyrotechnics. The third case contains arcane scrolls: Magic Missile, Fox's Cunning, and Pyrotechnics. The fourth scroll case is Divine Spells, Bane and Endure Elements. The fifth is Divine Spells, Longstrider and Cure Moderate Wounds. The sixth is Divine Spells, Detect Snares and Pits, Desecrate and Locate Object. The Heavy Steel Shield is one as you now that you've gotten closer to it as he's explaining it, it's very evident that it's a smaller size. It was built for a small individual, a halfling perhaps, but it's said to magically protect. It's a +1, just so you know, but obviously
small.
it's a +1 small heavy steel shield. The longsword,
That's interesting now.
he gives the story on, and it's a +2 longsword.
That's pretty awesome.
The potions.
I have a badass.
Potion of Blur, Potion of Bull Strength, Potion of Cure Light Wounds, Potion of Dark Vision, Potion of Eagle Splendor, Potion of Invisibility, Potion of Jump, Potion of Misdirection, and a Potion of Remove Fear.
Yeah.
The ring allows he who wears it to walk on water. It's a ring of water
Oh,
walking.
ring of Jesus.
One of the wands is a wand of Cat's Grace. One of the wands is a wand of Fox's Cunning. And the book was one of Lord Veldarius's most prized treasures. It was never put into the library. But no one can
Read it.
decipher what is actually written in this book.
No one.
It was written hundreds of years, prior to the Third Age, and it was written. It appears to be written both in code and in a long dead language. But because of its age and how well it's been maintained, the Lord very much.
I believe he would want Paladin of Heronius to take the Heronius book.
Nice. Can I wield
Well,
that
you can
longsword
take
if I
whatever you
have a
want.
strength of 0?
Yeah, you can. Anybody can wield a longsword as long as you have proficiency in it.
You're just like, hey.
Just
Well, it's the same guy who's using the
I have a.
bow that he gets a minus
No,
one.
here.
Not anymore.
Not
And I didn't
anymore.
know where it was from, but it looks like it's loot from a dagger, longsword, full plate, and steel shield.
That was from the vampire,
Okay.
and Belville took the longsword.
Can he identify that stuff or no?
I can.
He can look at it. None of it glowed magical before, so
Not
the
him.
longsword did.
Not
but-
him, the guy in charge of the tombs.
there's still one more.
Yeah.
Are you going to
Right.
show that to
Yeah,
the
does this
captain?
look familiar to you?
He very clearly is distraught by it.
Yeah.
It's it's the Lord's battle armor and his sword and dagger and shield. He doesn't know much about it. The Lord took care of his own equipment. Only that he was very valiant in battle, and
So you
Was
just.
the full plate, the Lord's full plate magical? Did we
No.
No.
All I know is
Sword.
magical is a longsword. It's just
it's the longsword that Belville scooped up.
Right.
So he did nothing to help you, and you just brought him sadness. Good job.
Yeah.
Are there any arrows, quivers in the armory?
In the armory, yeah.
Okay.
So there's,
Not magical,
That
though.
was all of the.
Oh.
That was
one
all
more
of the
door.
magic stuff in the magic
I thought I was
repository.
low. I have 60,
Show me
60
door number
arrows, yeah,
5.
so-
Let's check out door number 5 before I for sure take this book.
Am I in that room, or did you shun me
Don't
completely?
take
Oh, you were shot.
You shunned me, but I just ignore you.
Taking this book, rip a page out.
it. You'll do what I say.
Alright. If I can,
It's the quarter.
try to sleight of hand to one of the potions.
What did you roll?
20. The potion of cure light wounds.
I can't see what it is. It's behind the monitor.
An 8.
Okay, he doesn't see it. Do you guys want to roll spots to see if you see Mark stealing stuff?
Yes.
But it helps you guys. Just gonna point that out.
27.
I
didn't
see nothing.
I didn't see
Jordan
it.
will roll a 22, and Tom will roll 19.
You guys can determine amongst yourselves. I don't know. Don't remember what you rolled. I just
He
know I
said that
failed
he
it.
rolled 20 at the end. Like, he rolled a 10 and added up to 20.
Okay. So anybody who rolled over 20 sees Mark just
Blatantly.
not blatantly. He was very sneaky. 20 is very sneaky.
But it's
Not
like,
to these guys.
I'm just gonna walk up to you and be like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that.
helps
and
us.
Then, and then just walk away. I said my piece.
I don't know why Jordan rolls a bit
Said it
cold.
quietly.
It's like,
Okay.
Where are they leaving? What's he gonna do with that potion?
Sell it.
it's not worth that much.
I won't tell anyone if you drink this right now.
Chug.
But I have no wounds.
Alright,
Ooh, but I
let's
feel
check out
great.
the last room
Yeah,
Where?
what's in the last room?
before I decide to take the book.
As you get to the last door, and he says, "Within this room holds a most impressive treasure."
One thing. What was it? A cure light wounds?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Cursed.
Just
And he-
a half-naked dwarf sitting in there.
He, he kind of does his best to build up the suspense. It just by very slowly opening the lock, he opens the
Telling us
lock,
a story.
takes it off, And no one really knows how the treasures held within this room came to be in the house. And he goes through the story, he opens it.
Pull his butt open.
It's my glory hole!
Where does that even come from? Like, what have you seen in your life to bring you to that place? in
You're
your
loading
mind?
well, my friend.
Dwarf holding his butthole open.
As soon as you open the door, that's a dwarf butthole.
Did you walk in with your dad, like, starting a cellar or something like that? And it's just
Why is it winking? Oh.
flashed you back to that hairy starfish.
And this is the quality
The
content we provide.
most amazing treasure that no one knows where it came from.
Again, I don't get how you get dwarf.
And the door swings open. This room is slightly larger, and
Doors saying that.
and once again there's bars, and on the far end there's a large pedestal with a large red gem seated atop.
I want that.
Holy
What?
Dibs.
I stab everybody and take it for myself.
Is it magical?
Oh, it's glowing with magic, yes.
We want that.
I was crying.
Yeah.
I'll carry it.
He just walks up and like,
I'm gonna
yep.
detect evil.
You're gonna detect evil.
Yes.
I'll carry
You
it.
definitely detect evil as well.
This thing's.
And as you guys,
Get it out of here.
file in and are looking at it,
Sleight of hand. Oh, never mind.
it's behind a gate. He's got to open the
Just
gate.
reach in there, just tip it off the pedestal, break it.
Like it's not like from me to you
I
behind
know,
a gate.
okay.
It's like where your computer is behind a gate.
Okay, there's some distance. Throw a rope around it. Okay, crap. Sorry.
This is what we want. This is what we came for.
This is what we came for.
Is anybody neutral? Okay.
I don't know what the fuck my name is.
Lawful good.
I don't know if I picked it.
I've been stealing shit constantly, so yeah.
Tomadrill's gonna say that wants that.
Okay, and the guard moves and begins to unlock the lock, and you see Rob make some gestures with his hands, and the room is filled with just a bright explosion of light, like a huge explosion of light. Hence the reason Rob needed to be here for this fucking shit, because his story was the important one. And you can feel shards of gem fly throughout the room. You can just hear the explosion. And it obviously the captain of the guard is taken back. Kevin, your pureness, and you're just assaulted by this wave of just evil and death that is emitted by this. You're all very much blinded by the flash. And as your vision begins to return, you can see now there's just shards of gem scattered throughout the room out into the hallway.
You son of a bitch, Rob.
What the fuck?
I want to say, how did you know what my plan was?
Rob will go into an explanation at this point of his what he did. While he was in the library, he did research. Something you plebeians know nothing of.
Really not.
And basically,
Jordan's picking his nose.
he more or less he takes entirely too long and goes entirely too in depth about when the gem was created. The gem was created as an attempt to harness the powers of good and encase evil within it to banish it from the world. However, one of the wizards that was involved in this realized it was folly and kind of built in his own fail-safe, so to speak, to ensure that it didn't fall into the wrong hands, because it always has a tendency to fall into hands, and death and destruction has a tendency to follow it. And hence he knew at that point that it had to be destroyed. And that's why he was last to arrive, because he spent his entire day learning how to destroy it.
Well, now we don't have to try to give it to a god.
I was gonna try to sunder it with the super sword, so.
I'm gonna pull out my flip
Oh.
phone and pull up the druid. Be like, yeah, you're not getting your gem.
I am appalled. Appalled that I was lied to.
I'll clap him on the shoulder. Like this was the right choice.
decision.
Shrug. What else is in the room?
Nothing that.
That was the only thing in the room.
Damn it!
Sorry
Sweep
for
up
your.
the shards. Those shards are probably worth something.
Just find shards and people and just be like, here, I'm gonna take that.
Nothing. The explosion didn't like
Impale.
send shrapnel into people.
You all take 43d6 damage.
The captain of the guard is obviously just like
And Tori's dead.
George dead.
he's just staring at your dead friend.
Wait, can we have Jory be like the Kenny of this group? Or just every week he dies because whenever he doesn't show
I'll
up?
be at the point now where if I go in fucking sword and board, I have to be careful because something's gonna fucking murder me.
I'm
Okay.
going more into.
Uh,
But he you know, the lock is obviously off, and he doesn't even make an attempt to close it. He's like, "There's no reason to lock that anymore."
Or the
Sorry
shards?
about.
I guess I'll go take my
Surprise.
harmonious book.
Hey, we got you some more storage.
Yeah.
Can I get a quiver of arrows?
Yeah.
Yay.
All right, you took
What were the wands again? Oh, Cat's
Hermione's
Grace
book.
and
Fox's cunning.
25?
However many you want.
Hmm.
'Cause remember, they're heavy.
100.
I mean, they're not that heavy, but they have weight.
Does anyone want the ring?
What did it do?
Water
Water
walker.
walker?
I'm gonna get that to Jordan.
Yeah, somebody with heavy armor is probably. Instead of.
Yeah.
You know those ones, one at each stand away?
No.
If no one else wants one of the wands, I'll take both. I don't know what else there is.
What were the wands again?
Cat's Grace and Fox Cunning.
Can a small steel shield like that be used as like a buckler for a medium person?
I guess. Why not?
So that would be, what is a buckler normally?
+1.
So this would be a +2.
Correct. Could be a +1 buckler.
That wouldn't be a bad thing for Tom and Drill.
No, probably not. I'll grab one of the
There's
potions.
nothing in here.
Pick one, tell them to write down.
Although does a heavy steel shield count as,
You can use divine wands.
does that count as a,
Take invisibility.
Thank you.
It's acting as a buckler, so it's not going to cause arcane spell failure for
Did
you.
they take invisibility?
She was talking to him.
Oh, okay.
What were the divine wands again? There's
Cat's Grace and Fox Cunning.
Cat's
I don't
Grace
know
is
what
not bad
those
for,
Cat's Grace is
+4 to Dex. And Fox's Cunning is +4 to Int.
I don't need either of those.
Well, party. The wands have a lot
I'd
of charges
say-
on them.
I'd say grip. For sure take both the wands.
I'll take one of the wands, I guess.
As
Uh,
you guys are bumbling about,
We'll
The
split
captain of the
wands
guard
between
is
the two
just like-
clerics.
I can see you're very indecisive. Please, I insist. It's much better handled by you guys since you've been so kind to leave the rest
Oh,
alone.
Giving us to all the magic items?
Well, it's not really that much.
No.
I kind of expected you guys to be loot whores and take it all. So
Well, I'm trying to be
Well,
a good
we
paladin
have the
here.
paladin here to be our
hey, check that out, let's take it.
moral
I'm a-
Let's the gym room again.
I'm assuming that. Does anybody want the arcane scrolls, or should I just give them to Rob?
Rob's gonna be
He's the only one that can use them
don't-
anyway.
No,
Like
you
UMD.
have UMD boys, and
Oh, that's true.
he could cast some. I'm just gonna note that.
That's true.
How are you guys gonna divide out the divine scrolls between the divine users?
You can get
Okay,
The
I'll start
next
with
one.
just start with scrolls. Bane. Who's taking Bane?
Batman.
We're just gonna go back and forth.
Couldn't-
Tabby, scroll of Bane.
okay.
Mark, scroll of Endure Elements.
Fucking done with you guys. Take the loot.
Take what I give
Tabby,
you.
scroll of
Dex
Long
help you
Strider.
in your fucking
Long strider.
No, my
Increases
dex is
movement
pretty
speed.
high.
It'd give you +2 to hit.
Let me know when you're
I
ready,
have
Mark.
18 dex.
Cure mod.
So.
Tabby, detect snares and pits.
Strength more than anything for me.
Well, Cat's Grace would be helpful for me.
I was gonna take it on
Yeah.
Tomadrill,
Mark,
and then if anybody
locate
wants to
object.
cast on 'em,
Well, I mean, it just help my AC when I'm
that's
taking.
why.
What does that do?
Exactly for
It locates objects.
Yes.
I'm gonna trade you that later.
And then
It's max
put
anyways.
Desecrate on one of your sheets because neither one of you is gonna use it. So
She does want the locate object scroll.
Yeah.
Okay, you can take that and I'll take that straight then.
What do you mean?
That's great.
You can take a locate object.
+2 longsword.
Tom.
I grabbed the one they already had, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomadrill could carry it, but
Put it.
You're getting all this gear. You're gonna have to be on the front line. Just saying.
No, if one of
Can
the
I use the
rangers wants to use it
longsword?
for melee,
For their
it would be
close
good.
attack.
I don't know if a bot maybe wants it.
Bot has the
Yeah,
axe.
he's got a
Okay,
great axe.
if you wanted to go sword and board.
I mean, I guess we can give Jory something when he comes to play.
Just
No.
put it on Tomadril's character sheet, and they can decide. You guys can decide to give it to him if you so choose.
Or if he's being
Late
Dude, I do have the +1 flaming scimitar. He's a scimitar build. I
Yeah.
have the +1 flaming scimitar still.
+2 longsword.
Potion of blur.
Sure. I'll take it.
You're the front line. It would be helpful for you.
Potion of bull's strength.
I have that spell.
No, well, it's only a potion.
Alright, I'll take that too then. I guess.
Yes.
Take that one.
It'll only be for a little bit.
So.
Potion of dark vision. Somebody who isn't an elf.
Uh,
Okay, Belville's taking that one. Potion of eagle splendor. I know it's gonna be a cleric, bard, or paladin.
Eagle Splendor is what?
Charisma.
Bard, probably.
Sure.
Yeah, it's more useful. I'll get like a good smite out of it one time and.
I probably would use it to, I don't know, if I had to cast spells or something like that.
The,
Or if you're trying
what
to
I
use
would use it for is
diplomacy.
when you're gonna smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Smooth.
smooth talk somebody. That's-
Smooth talk.
Potion of jump.
Rogue.
Sure.
Potion of misdirection.
Is that a bard thingy?
Yeah.
It can be a bard thingy.
Okay.
Potion of remove fear.
That'd be good for a fighter.
I'm immune to fear effects, so.
Guess it's going to Jorgendal.
Jorgie.
Wand of cat's grace.
Tomadril can carry him.
Fuck it, I'll take it.
Can you use it?
Yep. It's on the ranger spell list. And wand of fox's cunning.
Got stacks.
No, fox's cunning is
Int.
intelligence.
That's a Rob. Oh wait,
Okay.
he's. It's not arcane.
All right, done.
The Master's Longsword.
Yes.
What? Plus anything?
You don't know.
He
It's
didn't.
magical. It glowed. Ross would know that it was glowy.
Alright,
Identify it.
Alright, let me
You have a
just.
pearl?
The guy didn't know it because he
Spend a
didn't
lot of
keep
gold
track
to
of
get
it.
pearls.
Like it was a.
Do
the
you
master.
do you want Rob just to use the scroll of identify?
Ooh.
Yep, we can just use that too.
You
Okay.
can do that.
Unless he's
Plus
gonna try
5 Vorpal.
to.
Damn it!
He's gonna be shrewd and
My-
keep it.
The reason I want to know if it's something useful, I'll keep it. If it's something that's going to be garbage, I'll just give it back to the house and say, here you go. Here's your Master's
It's
Sword back.
a +1 longsword.
Okay. Which I believe I already have.
You had a masterwork longsword, I thought.
Adds damage now.
Yeah.
It adds to damage as well.
The dagger, full plate, and steel shield, are they just of different?
They're mundane, but they're just whatever. They're the family's.
Heirlooms.
Whatever. I'm giving the sword back to him.
Give him a sword and take the +2
He's
one.
like, "Argh!"
Do that.
You throw it at the
I'm
guy.
gonna take the sword, but I'm gonna give them back their full plate and steel shield since it probably has their crest on it. Or
Yeah.
something like that. I'm keeping that sword.
Never found a sword. I don't know.
No, it's gone.
Turned to
So
dust
we
with
just
him.
swap swords. I had +2. Is that?
Yeah.
I heard you guys do that a lot.
Yeah. Can't judge us.
You would make the
I'm not judging.
I'm gonna give him my long sword and try and pass it off and say, yeah, this is the only sword we found on him.
It's very clear that he doesn't. He's got bigger concerns on his plate right now.
But I tell him that we found this full plate. The dagger was also his dagger, and then the steel shield looks like it has your family crest on it. This could be something that is important
To you.
to an heir. Please take it. I don't want to carry it.
It's too heavy.
You can sell
Drop
it
on
if you
the
don't need
floor.
it.
That's gone. All right. Is there a ring slot on these character sheets?
I don't think so.
I doubt it.
Doesn't come in handy for whenever someone with
That's why I took it.
80 pounds of fucking metals is gonna assume something.
Oh, Jorgendal's well into a heavy load. How many pounds am I carrying right now?
A very heavy load.
Yeah. It's
So yeah, I'm gonna take the
quite
Peronius
substantial.
book.
Oh, never mind. I'm only carrying 198
Where's
pounds.
my
Can
pencil
Rob
go?
see it?
My fucking pencil back.
Fuck off. Potion of remove fear.
open up to the front page. I'm gonna look at the
Cover page.
the first edition.
It looks. It's very much. He wasn't lying. It's very much written in something you've never seen. And
Rob.
You look at the start, you look at the end, like, good book.
But Rob, figure this out.
Rings here. It's not down here.
I was showing. I was like, would you be interested in deciphering this tome for me? But don't cast any of the spells because I need it.
he's obviously very interested.
Right.
Is it a ring of water walk?
Yes.
Ring of the Jesus.
Bevel, do you have both lighters now?
Yes, he
I
does.
must.
Body location.
Nice catch.
Nice.
Finger.
This guy would say nice snatch.
Wait. Negligent.
So he's,
That's it.
so you guys stow the goods. He's just kind of standing there patiently.
We
Is
thank
there
you
anything
for
I
your...
can see if I look in the gem? Like anything?
No, I think I do want a gem.
Yeah, I just want a gem. Is there an emerald or a giant gem?
I mean, there's gems that have some value.
Okay, I'll take.
Yeah, but I would like to get like some magic
I hear the
armor and
gem's
stuff
truly
eventually.
outrageous.
Well, I can give you some gems.
Yeah, but
I'm
I only
not
have
gonna wear it.
200 silver. I'm never gonna be able to afford fucking anything.
I can give you.
You don't have enough either.
I'm gonna praise the gems and take one for Jorgen and one for myself of good value.
Right. Just write them down.
My cleric will go ahead and take a gem.
Alright.
Since,
I'm a
we're getting all
man.
sorts of
Since
stuff.
everybody else has changed their mind.
Yep.
I think
Thanks for
for
generosity. Oh,
Yeah.
mm.
I think for the quivers of arrows. Quiver of arrows.
Came back
I just want to be able to afford
bastard.
+5 mithril full plates.
Oh,
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all, huh?
You're gonna have
Alright,
to settle for
continue on.
something here.
I step out and wait for the other riffraff to join me.
I'll follow you.
Cool. 3 of us are out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm not gonna take any
And the 4 of them
gems.
can be.
You're
Alright.
too good.
I'm too good. I personally want him to take gems, but he would not do it.
7 of us are outside.
Yeah, so I leave.
I mean, we don't actually go outside, I guess. We go outside the room.
We just leave the house. Fuck this place, bro.
I leave the room.
We can't go to the next area until everybody joins up. Have to have the full
I'm
party.
I Hearthstone back to the city.
Please gather your party before venturing forth.
Yeah, there it is.
Stay a
Gather your
while.
party
Listen.
before venturing forth.
I had the feeling I wanted to play Diablo,
What do
and
I
I was
have?
like,
5?
No, I didn't.
It's probably a good feeling.
that World of Warcraft. I'm just like,
All right, now that everybody's had their fill on those banana chips, I'll finish them up here.
Enjoy your slightly sugary cardboard.
Yeah, they're
Crazy blindfold.
Oh, they're kind of stiff.
Okay, I'm good.
It's a stiff banana.
Oddly enough, mine's never that great for scale. What? Banana for scale?
So,
Actually,
We're done in here, I think.
smaller banana.
I'm gonna go.
Scale would look larger.
Not quite.
I'm gonna go talk to the.
Look at fucking you guys.
That coffee cup is ginormous.
Can't even think.
Nope. My train of thought is.
You're
While
gonna
they're
go talk
distracted, I
to
try to steal a
the
gem from her.
steward?
Doesn't even,
butthole.
it doesn't even feel any resistance
15.
going into a dwarf butthole.
We go talk to this steward again. And
Tabby, roll me a spot.
Spot that shit.
well, good. Under pressure.
18.
Mark's trying to steal from you.
God damn it, Mark. Slap him.
Cast a spell on him.
Should.
Very upset that they didn't have any like super magical loot.
I cast Inflict Light Wounds
You don't need.
for an 11.
You don't need to roll.
I rolled his
He's gotta
touch
touch
AC.
him. Oh.
I gotta touch him.
What's your
Yeah,
touch
it's
AC,
like-
Mark?
So 12. I rolled a 12.
Wait.
Right?
13.
No, you add your
12.
base attack bonus.
Oh. So 14
Damn it. Okay, you hit me.
for 1d8 plus 5. Nope.
Gone forever.
6 damage.
You get a slap on the wrist mark.
Alright.
Naughty.
Bad Nathan.
My cleric will see this and just kind of snicker to herself.
Isn't that what he names the sock? Or the snake in Aquatine Hunger Force? Nathan the snake.
My cleric.
Look, it's a bunny.
Put the pipe cleaners.
Did I notice it?
I don't know. Did you?
Roll a spot.
Oh!
Yeah, you did.
My
He noticed
spot
it before
20.
I did. And then you see me just slap the fucking
You
shit.
see him just like the fat kid reaching for a soda, like. Because that was a pretty bad roll for you.
It was.
And you just slap his hand.
Alright, I'm gonna cure light wounds on my rogue. Just be like,
I'm gonna give him the glare. The paladin glare.
he's gonna shrug.
I'm gonna count my coins. Oh, I'm gonna go to the steward and. How can we actually help him in this situation? There's probably nothing we can really do.
No, he has no heirs. They have to figure this out themselves.
Does have an air. Duh.
Order is already starting to return a little bit in the
Right.
household as you come back upstairs.
I could actually put something.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him and. What should I say? Good
Hi.
job.
Hey, we killed your patriarch of me.
Hello.
Bye.
My name is Elder Kevin. I'd like to tell you about this amazing book we found down in your basement.
We also blew up your most precious item.
Okay.
Because it was radiating evil and it's gonna fall into the wrong hands.
Reading the goodness. Hello.
Should we go find the other scholar?
That
What
was
was
in
in
the
there?
library?
What does Rob know about him?
Yeah, I'll bend to the library.
Library.
He's basically, even by Rob standards, a book nut.
Oh, okay. That's really saying something.
Let's just skip that then. Alright, see you guys. Bye. Let's all leave.
It's just how I spent most of my day
We
there.
gotta go check back into your felonious temple.
You have to
Talk to
report.
that guy.
You gotta report. I need to report.
You
These
need to-
guys do. We also have the darkness in the forest or whatever.
Yeah.
Unless that passed with the vampire guy leaving.
We
Guess
don't
we'll
know. We
find
haven't
out.
gone outside.
To the outside.
Is there any chance I could get a horse from him?
What do you want a horse?
Carrying shit.
For donkey.
War mule.
You can try.
You could ask that be your boon.
I'll ask the steward. Any chance I could get?
He'll give you one strand of hair from his head. Because he's the most beautiful man you've ever seen.
I'm cool with that.
The captain of the guard will relay the fact that you just took arrows. And obviously the steward will most certainly go and see the ostler.
You're gonna get old man.
What's an ostler again?
An ostler takes care of horses.
The ostler
Okay.
is my friend. I made friends with the stable boys.
Does he oscillate?
Yeah. With your wolf.
Roll a d20.
Oh, here we
Get
go.
a horse. It's only got 2
11.
legs.
You get an average horse.
No warhorse.
No, he gets an average horse.
Witness.
He just went and asked for a horse.
I need a horse.
He didn't specify what kind of
How it
horse he
works
wanted.
is it?
It's a good riding horse.
It's a horse. I'm
Not no fine
constantly tries to
lineage.
bite you.
Average horse.
Is that your name? No. That'd be the greatest, like, and around the bend comes average horse.
I guess I'll wish him well and good luck. May Heronius walk with you, something like that.
Be with him.
Not be with him, that's weird. May Heronius come to your bed chamber at night.
May Heronius watch over you.
Be loved by the gods takes a whole new meaning.
Tom girl's gonna go to the manservant and the woman thingy And he's gonna drop his.
Try.
Yes. Oh, should I keep it going?
You can only gain value from keeping it going.
So I'm gonna keep it going.
I shall name a horse Bartholomew.
Gonna sit, you know. Can I get the man dude alone?
Jefferson Wolf isn't so sure of Bartholomew. He's not. Doesn't really like horses a whole lot.
We should get a secondary saddle for the wolf on the back. Like a pillow.
No, get him like the harness so he can go on the front.
like a baby Bjorn.
Or just have him like hanging on the side and you just pull a cord and he just drops, runs like a wolf torpedo.
I'm gonna spend some time with Jefferson Wolf trying to
Deploy wolf.
acclimate him to Bartholomew.
Now Kith.
How long does my lion have to stay in the
Other realm.
healing realm?
Wait and find out.
I'm gonna try and summon him, he'll be pissed.
I was sleeping.
Why have you summoned me?
Did I gain anything from talking to the manservant? Can I squirrel him away by himself?
You summon him and he comes back and you're just like, nope, bye.
Nothing particularly insightful.
I'm going to. Did the bard ever resurface?
Nope.
You guys never looked for him.
Yeah, we never actually figured out the.
We got intent
Picture
on
two.
loots.
We
Huh?
paid.
Intent on loots. And
Jorgenal and.
Yeah, let's go look for him.
Okay, everyone's gonna go look for the bard.
that
Should we try to figure out
sneaky son of a bitch.
The picture too.
Oh, I hope that woman hasn't like tied up in like a dump.
Help me!
Game suit.
Yep.
You find the bard and the fighter in the little stage area, the theater, at the bar, drinking.
Greetings.
The Lord Bathcombe has paid you a visit.
Did you find your dead friend?
Your other one.
They haven't gone looking.
Did we ever get their names?
Nope.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The dead guys?
Well, you knew the cleric's name, which Chalm, from talking to the fighter.
Yeah. I don't know. At some point we got the man at arms name somewhere in my note.
The hell would name their kid
Anything
Chalm?
scary?
Anyhow,
A random name generator.
Who else would
I mean, it must be a name that somebody's named a kid at some point.
We'll name it Ricochet.
Not necessarily.
While this is going on, I'll go back to the art gallery.
Festoon that horse
And
in
is there anybody in the art gallery right now?
quivers of
No.
arrows.
I mean, the house was
Yeah, the whole thing.
just lost its patriarch.
Well, I thought somebody might be passing through. Like I don't know how busy it was. Okay, then I will not look at it. My rogue's by himself, and he'll just uncover the painting and then
From behind?
walk away. Yeah, like go around the back.
And walk away?
Yep, and just be done.
That is terrible.
I have noticed that
I did not-
Wolfroth is the
He's-
fighter.
He's
I
feeling
did not
playful.
notice. I'm not. Nope.
Roll a spot.
You guys
See
don't
if
know
you
this
notice.
happened.
I didn't go in there. Nope.
Yeah, nobody knows it yet.
And
Alright, let's leave. The rogue is walking in the room. Hey guys, you should probably leave, like right now.
Time to go, guys.
wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up, B.
I'll come back and be like, hey, what's your name again?
Talise. Lady
Talise, there it is. Hey, you should check out the art before we go.
What did you do?
You can roll a sense motive to see. Roll a bluff, Mark.
13. 17 for sense motive.
12.
What did you do?
I'm just saying you should go and enjoy the art.
I feel like we need to leave.
So rather than trying to fix it, you just like, nope, we're out.
Look, I'm true neutral. I don't give two fucks. Once
Okay.
we're done here.
So you're
I didn't find what I
you
wanted.
care even less than I do.
If I were any more information about Lord Detritus, Demetrius,
Detritus.
I'm not gonna go out of my way to cause
Nothing-
harm,
nothing
but I'm
that-
not gonna go
what
out of my
direction
way
did
to
he go?
fix it
We'll
either.
North.
We'll
Okay.
go north. Which way did we come from?
South.
What do they know of? What is north from here? Woods.
More forest. Some low mountains.
Thick bush.
Then another country. Then deserts. Then
Is this like a
the
high,
big mountains.
Is this like a high level area? Like, we go with
We walk in. We see the monsters have little skulls by their nameplate.
Time to go. Time to go. Time to go.
Nathan did something, so should we?
Nathan.
Yeah.
You just go.
Nathan
I
Scott
don't know.
Phillips.
He did something in the art gallery, and I think we should just leave.
He peed on it.
Yeah, with him it could be anything from set it on fire or shit the floor. Or just
I just say we leave.
This is my
Now.
new art exhibit.
You shouldn't have told me, because now I can't leave.
I'm gonna tell the spice trader lady if she wants to get in contact with me to maybe do a business deal, whatever town we came in on. Leave word for me at this town. That'll be the port that we ship out of.
You give her a business card.
Leave it at the desk
Yeah.
at the inn you stayed in.
All right.
Obsequious bows.
I head outside and wait for the group.
I'm already on my horse.
I kind of want a cabin in the woods. Ye old fuck shack.
We need to see your Lord
Shit,
Baronius'
Dwarf
temple.
butthole fuck.
We have greater needs.
Yeah, you do.
Guy's just outside.
He's
Forgot
fighting.
about Jefferson Wolf.
Kevin is fighting with his
Guy's
other paladin.
outside just loving his horse, just like, oh,
Did you ever find his
horse.
bird?
Jefferson Wolf's just pissed.
Yeah.
His bird hasn't come back yet.
Oh, son of a bitch. We gotta go find the bird. To the quest to find the bird.
We just look out and we're like, "Are you there?"
That bird is the word.
Alright, let's fucking go.
Wow. I'm impressed. Our bad deeds are wearing off on him. Alright. We wait for the bird to come back.
Nobody told me what happened. He just
Here's how
said
you
he
call
did
your
something.
True.
Because I don't know what he did. I just know it
See a
wasn't
bird on
good.
this mansion.
I figured you'd ask though, like be like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like,
I did. I said, what did you do?
No, for him.
Oh.
Am I hearing this conversation? No.
No, they just mentioned it in passing when they were still inside. But I'm outside now. So wait for
I
the
asked
bird.
the adventurers what their plans are.
They're, trying to determine what their actions. They'll probably return to Brandenburg eventually.
travel with us.
Do you have any idea why they would kill the cleric?
Because he got too close to something. The truth.
It was a mistake. It was a clerical error.
Ultimately,
found
the
the
assumption
railroads.
would be that they're adventurers. They were sniffing around.
Okay.
They're very hopeful that their first acts are going to be to see if they can figure out what happened to the other two.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that too.
Should we go back into the maze?
Did we ever find the center?
No. Found the body.
You found the body and nothing left.
Yeah, sure. I can go back to the maze.
Go in the maze, get done with the maze, come out, and everybody's just in the fucking gallery, just. God damn it, Mark.
It makes you wonder, like, if enough people got there, they couldn't fit
See
in
it.
front of it. Yeah, so they just like build out of the room.
Could always try and look at it through a mirror.
It's true. Wait, did we try that?
No.
No. Okay.
You just tried to look right at it.
You just pulled the thing up to see what was underneath there.
Well, I thought my cleric was a little more.
You were trying to look off of, like, reflective objects. Nobody had a mirror.
Oh, okay. Well, don't care anymore.
I'm curious.
You're gonna go explore the maze a little bit more.
Yeah, let's go look around. Look around.
There's nothing significant that you guys notice in the maze.
Maybe try the mirror trick. See if we can see anything. Position this mirror.
So you're gonna go and try to mess with the painting that's covered up?
Yeah.
Uncovered.
Yeah,
It's not covered up.
Oh yeah, covered it.
Yeah, Mark uncovered it and ran from the room.
Oh hooray.
So you're walking towards
Roll a
it.
d20, guy. You hold the party Ross's fate as he walks in.
Oof.
A 4.
Roll a will save, Ross.
Oh. 6.
As you guys enter the gallery, Ross just stops and he's like,
And I just cringe.
Let's do Jordan's.
Alright, I'm gonna put my shield like this and walk towards it. But everything is set this thing on fire. Flaming scimitar. I use the flaming scimitar and try to start on fire.
Jordan rolls an 18.
Dragondoll saves.
Okay. What does the painting look like?
Just a lighthouse in a harbor. Very unimposing.
Okay, take the painting off its
Easel.
easel. Type thing.
Well, Kevin's swinging at it with a flaming longsword, so...
Just wait, just wait, just wait.
And you're like, what?
I'm gonna try and hoist it off.
Okay.
Come off.
Yeah, it comes off the wall.
Set it down. So it's-
Okay.
Face down.
Anything
It's on the
behind
floor.
it? Any markings or anything like that? I guess I'm gonna take it apart.
Just destroy it.
Nah, start looking at like this. Am I still?
You're for the time being, you're catatonic. Yeah.
Okay, hooray.
But wouldn't he try to fight to
Is there
get
anything
see it
behind
again?
the painting? Like,
Well, yeah, you would try to get it standing back up.
okay, but I'm just
So
like,
you won't look at it.
yeah, looking at it. Just a picture of a lighthouse. Do I know where this lighthouse is?
It's not even very well done.
Is there
I
any-
mean, it's not like I painted it, but
is there any art? Is there light on in the lighthouse?
no. It's just a light. I just picked what it is at random. The painting,
Just now.
the picture had nothing to do with it.
It's just an enchanted picture. Destroy it.
Set it on fire.
Alright. I'm gonna take it apart and destroy it.
Okay.
That happens.
It puts itself back together.
You disassemble it and tear it into chunks and stuff, and at some point the spell breaks on
Suddenly you find him back where it was.
Drill.
What is
Comma drill.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
There wasn't anything special about the painting.
I
It
was
was,
hoping it was gonna be like an artist name that I could go track down and beat.
that was just another distraction.
Okay. It worked.
Yeah.
You ruined
Alright,
my
let's
fun.
go.
I forget that you guys don't require any distraction.
We're here to solve all problems.
Alright, gonna go outside. Take a look.
All right, we're
Jesus,
leaving.
you guys take forever.
Well, we had to fix your fuck up.
Slap him on the back of the head.
I didn't tell anybody else to go in there.
Gauntlet in hand.
Yeah, you're trying.
As I'm petting the backside of my
You're
horse's
like
thigh,
wacky with my quarters.
Gross.
waiting for you guys to notice.
Yes.
It's a fine animal you have there.
What do you think? What do you think?
Hey, quit that horsing around.
You got like its mane all braided. Trying to make a trot.
What's its name?
You're outside
Bartholomew.
Oh my god.
You're outside prancercising with it.
Wear the tights too?
That
Yes.
uncommon of a name.
Okay. I think I've heard this name
Art.
before.
Is short for it.
Okay.
So where to?
Back to the city. We have reporting to do.
Back to the future.
Well,
We'll come back.
Let's check.
What's the forest look like to the south?
Yeah.
You're gonna go to the gate and look.
Yeah.
It's still dark and
And
foreboding.
posing.
Anybody want to kill some more vampires? Let's go down there.
I don't feel
Yeah,
like
for
this is
reporting,
not
we have
having
to
to
go
do
that
with
way.
vampires.
Yeah, we do.
If you guys are reporting, don't we have to go back south to those gates back
Yeah.
to the woods?
You were told not to go north?
you were never told not to go
We were
north.
told not to go south.
You were told not to go south?
Yeah. Well, we weren't supposed to.
You
come
guys
through the
weren't
forest
told
anyway.
to. But that was kind of the standing ruling in.
How about we go north and circle around after that?
Ah,
Well,
fuck
we
it.
cut through it just
Yeah,
fine.
we made it.
Going. Wagon south.
Alright.
Heading through the forest back the way we came.
You make your way back through the forest, and once you get out of the forest, your eagle eventually returns.
He just swoops down to your shoulder and just.
So
Kind of shit on Bartholomew.
It's bedtime.
Bedtime. And you very much, you're traveling through this landscape you've been through before.
Yep.
And, you're out of the forest as dusk approaches.
We should probably make camp. We should probably make camp.
I'm going to eat a trail ration.
me too. Let's make a fire.
Share stories.
So this one time in
So we're gonna
band
stop
camp,
and make camp.
Have I ever told you the tale of how I got Bartholomew?
No, we don't care.
I've ever told you the tale of how I got herpes.
No.
I gave it.
It hasn't happened yet. One day.
Dwarf butthole.
Spread them.
It's
Spread
gonna
'em.
last forever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, dwarf one has been around for a long time.
Spread it. It's gonna be like the worst that's actually gonna happen.
Someone's got to draw it in the whiteboard and down in his basement.
I will
Don't
practice.
imagine it'd be
I will
any
practice.
more different than
Every
yeah.
other ever.
Just be like a stocky thigh.
Alright, so we rest.
Well, the Enjoy Cock mural lasted, what, a year?
It's still up down there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you started out one.
I think I showed up one night and no one was here, so I just drew that and left. God was here.
What are you doing right now?
The sun!
He's trying to draw a dwarf butthole.
There.
Robot station?
He has drawn a sun.
You interpret that however you will. That is my rendition.
Of a sun.
Pudgy, gnarled fingers pulling it open.
I don't want to get too in depth.
Sausages just. Why are we spending so much time on this shit?
Why not?
Quality content.
So I'm assuming you're going to set guards and
Yeah. Shift rotations, and I'm now very suspicious of Nathan. And don't trust him for anything.
You trusted me before? What the hell's wrong with
Not really, but now I am very much on guard around you.
On guard.
you? Speaking of that,
On guard?
a side note. No. Carry on.
Oh.
This is a side note.
I just stand up, my butt hurts.
all right, so time passes. You wake up, you guys take your shifts and awake in the morning to the storms and the cloudy skies of the previous 2 days have kind of subsided to a partly cloudy day.
Okay, let us just continue on. Back
Let us make haste.
to the city.
Give me a minute.
Back to Brandenburg.
Is that the city we're at?
Yep.
I'm going straight to the temple. You guys, tell these guys. I need to go report. You guys do what you gotta do.
Go about the city, do you think?
You want to go to the Fletcher's?
I wonder if I should
Please.
bring my book with me. See what
See
the
if we can find
That
druid.
old man.
highbrow dude has to
Good, I
say
guess.
about it.
Not highbrow, he's evil.
No, there's an evil guy there, but the highbrow was cool.
What are you looking for?
Poop dick.
I'm looking for poop dick.
Well then, that's kind of awkward
Are you
because
looking for
you're in the wrong spot.
Look down.
That's the solution to my explosive diarrhea.
Ah, yes. Shit dick.
Shit dick. It's one of the games on the new Jackbox. Is like you have to solve
That's
problems.
the actual game? That's cool.
You have to solve problem, and it's like, what problem do you want them to solve? And I'm like, it's like, I have blank. Explosive diarrhea. C-Mak solution. Poop dick. Just pack it back in there.
Oh man. Oh, that's just.
That wasn't a productive night, I'll tell you.
It's like it's a pee hole.
Oh, God.
That's called
Is my-
urinary tract infection.
Is my binder of goodness floating around
Oh my
anywhere?
god.
Your binder of what?
I have a black binder that I. Oftentimes, it would be over there somewhere. I went through all this. Oftentimes have important documents stowed in.
This is in the box, maybe?
What's in the box?
Okay, what's everybody doing when they get back to town?
Following him.
Beldo and I are going to the Fletcher's
This
shop.
looks familiar.
Yeah, I've never finished that. Yay for you. Happy.
All right, so you guys are traveling to the
Temple of
Fletcher's
Rome.
shop.
We're not gonna come up here like, I should probably finish that.
When you guys arrive at the Fletcher shop, you don't recognize
Sit on the other side.
anyone at the Fletcher shop. They're not people you've met before. It's not important. I'll just make Kevin come over here and read it on the computer.
Oh.
Like right now?
Not right now, when we get to you.
Like even the guy
But it's
who
your
runs it.
turn.
The guy behind the counter isn't anybody you've encountered before.
Is there a music shop here?
Oh, let me get some silver arrows made and fucking go on my way.
What happened to the guy that used to run this place like 5 days ago?
Roll a spot.
Dead on the floor. Found him!
Feet coming out under the table.
14.
Food sticking out.
He's very confused by it. And he's basically explains it's always been his shop. He was closed on Temple Day less than a week ago.
And you're like, what?
Witch!
Shapeshifter!
I'm just gonna tell him what happened. I'm just gonna be like, not a few days ago I was flagged down. We were flagged down to come in here by a druid.
Have you seen Poop Dick?
He knows nothing.
He knows nothing about druids. Not a whole lot of druids in these
No
parts.
associates are urinary tract infection.
And the world together.
Anything else from you guys?
I'm gonna.
From these two.
Okay.
We're moving around the table.
Yay.
So it's easier.
Get some silver arrows. Done.
Well, that's fucking weird. Give me some shit.
Yeah, I'm
You know
good.
what, Druid? No? Alright, fuck off.
I don't know what the cost on silver arrows is. You're gonna have to look it up yourselves.
$2.
Ross,
Is there a music shop in this?
I'm sure there is.
Can I find? I don't even know how
Man, so
better
Range
musical instruments work. They just add your perform skill,
You get a +1 from a masterwork one
like to hit, or your perform.
to your perform roll. That's all you get out of them.
Oh, nothing spectacular. I'm gonna look for see if I can find a finer quality one than mine, just for shit, my ego's sake.
While you're poking around, wandering through town looking for. Is Jargendal going with you?
Yes, Jorgendo's gonna go follow me.
Okay. After you're wandering for a bit, a courier comes hustling up and, good sir, stop! He hustles up and he's obviously a page for the consul,
Ah.
and
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that I was here. I was on his business.
and
Let's come walk
he's
back
like,
and tell me.
sir, the consul would like to speak to you.
I'm busy, boy. Tell them I would.
Did you see I'm looking at this fiddle?
Oh, thank you. Is that the entirety of the message?
Yes, yeah.
Flip 2 coppers and say I will be there as soon as I can.
Okay.
Jorgendo's gonna go for term. What type of equipment can we find here? Like, are we gonna be able to find anything like +1?
Maybe.
Minor, magical items,
Yeah,
perhaps.
potentially, if you spent enough time in the town.
Okay. I go. That's something Stanley will find in a few weeks.
What was it?
Just a wrapper.
Oh, whatever.
Just don't know where it went. Alright. Yeah, I'll have to look at the list and I'll remember exactly what I was looking for. I can't remember what I was looking for. Anyways, so I'll see what happens with that later.
I know what I need, but I have about 0.5% of the gold I need to get it, so.
Wit.
So I can fucking talk. Or use my spell, I should say.
What do you need in a wand?
No, he needs a meta magic device.
Yeah.
So he can do silent spell.
How much does that one cost?
Meta magic device is the lowest level one, which would let him cast 3 spells, is like 30,000 gold.
Okay, so
You're never gonna get it.
well, I do have a lot
Back
of
to
gold.
back to the house. We need all this money.
So your guys are just gonna
I'm
keep
gonna go to
shopping.
console.
Okay, so
We'll do that later.
you guys are gonna travel there. You arrive and much as you were before you're ushered in, there's fine, pastries and desserts on the table and carafes of wine.
Okay.
And as you enter, and Jorgendal, who's a little bit less refined, enters. Oh, I see you've brought in your servant this time.
Yes, I did.
Please, we'd like to hear your report.
Jorgendal's not very pleased with this. So Tomadrill starts spinning the yarn of how he used his most great, profound and perfunctory intellect to infiltrate this, and tell him everything about it. Oh yes, sir, I adorned my visage of Lord Bathcombe, and we found there was a vampire's nest, most virulent, and we exterminated it. Now the house is being run presumably by the whatever steward. We did find the gem, but it was destroyed, mostly because it was flawed. Blah 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 blah.
It was a fake. Just say it was fake.
It's fake.
Ultimately, with the report, there's some derision amongst, some of them are like, oh, you're just not good enough to get it, and while others are like, you basically, you get the two counselors who are like, well, you didn't go and get it, they kind of have their little cat fight, but they're disappointed. It's clear they're disappointed. But given the fact that, it was destroyed, it prevents it from falling into evil hands, so
And
they're...
then I also tell him about that Lord Devitrius.
Devitrius.
Does he happen to... I don't actually tell him what I bring it up as a question. Have you heard anything about Lord Devitrius, perhaps?
No one on the council. I mean, there's confused glances around, and...
The area to the north of the estate, have you happened to have any trouble from there? Does anyone know anything?
You're starting to spread beyond the reach of the city.
Okay. Bring up the Jaquelin's name, too. They know her.
She's a trader.
Okay.
She sometimes takes port here. Trades in spices.
Okay. Alright, well then I tell... since... I'm going to keep the Lord Devitrius bit of knowledge to myself, actually.
And they're happy that the house is being run by the steward. And steward, good man, and they're pleased that potentially trade could return there. And
I tell them almost certainly there will be some trade to be had there, and if not there, definitely the spice trader. She's happens to have a penance for a certain type of bards. Maybe you could use that to your advantage in negotiating some prices with her.
anything
Sell
else
his
from you
body.
What was the reward?
guys? Reward? You brought but nothing back.
I brought nothing back, but information is power.
And you just give it away.
Not to rich spoiled brats.
You were dealt a sour deal.
I will remember this. Turn on my heels. Servant! Jordan stuffing his face.
Mark,
You guys are checking my.
we'll go to you guys next.
Carry a craft of wine out.
First off, I stash the thing I got.
Yep.
I hide it somewhere. Like I try to be very subtle about it. I want to do a sleight of hand or like,
Are you hiding it in the city or on your person?
in the city. I want to hide it where I can't touch it, but I don't want anybody else to come across it either.
In the ghetto.
And I try to do it where like if somebody's walking by, they're not gonna be like, "What the hell is he doing over there?"
Well, first roll an intelligence check to see if you can find a good hiding spot.
Well, let's see. Yeah, the same. So
Little street. Perfect.
Oh.
14.
14, okay.
Can I grow my cleric too? Because they're going to be together. They both have a fight. I'm saying it's gonna be.
Advise him.
Okay, we're not gonna use a cleric roll.
Want me a
Okay.
copper?
So you feel like you find a decent hiding spot,
Okay.
and you stash it away out of sight.
All right.
Right.
Then next I'll go and meet with that group. I don't know if that's it should be
Are you gonna go try and find the Thieves Guild?
yeah, or wait until they find me. I don't know how they. I can't recall how they work. Like they might just go around and they find me. If that's the case, I can go to a shop beforehand.
Typically,
They find
a
me.
Thieves Guild isn't something that you find. They usually will find you.
Okay, so
In that case, I will go with my cleric to the weapon shop.
Okay.
And do they take gems, or is that something I have to trade first?
You're gonna have to trade that into coin.
Well, first I guess I'll go there and see how much better mace would be.
Well, what are you looking for?
+1 mace, like if they have it. Or...
You'll have to just look up a price on it.
Did,
If you search long enough, you'll be able to find it in town.
Okay.
Ah, shit. You got the fucking woman with the flames.
Well, I'll find
Did
that
you
out.
instruct me to read this yet?
You dwarf woman.
Did I give that to you?
Dwarf woman.
That's what I was looking for.
Oh, you did give this to me.
So just hold on to it for the moment.
Okay.
I should probably ask, is my horse light or heavy?
It's a riding horse.
It's a normal.
It's not a war
medium.
horse, so
rather
you can
average.
choose whichever you like.
Can you carry the horse? Probably not.
It's a bad average
So
horse.
you're gonna do some shopping.
Yes.
Everything.
All right. So then we'll move to you two. You're going to.
Temple of Heronius.
Temple of
Red light
Heronius.
district.
Probably
Where's my
the
money,
way this
bitch?
is going.
I gotta make money somehow.
So you reach the temple and step inside and you know, it's once again you're kind of escorted through into the chambers. We're in the meeting room of Lord Rebella. And Lord Rebella is there.
Mhm.
As are several of his other associates. But his captain is currently absent, as is the man who was just exuding evil when you were there the last time.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
I'll ask him where the two bros are, especially the one that we were talking about before.
A day prior, both disappeared. And his rebellious hope is that the captain is attempting to run down the evil interloper who escaped during the night.
Which evil
The evil dude that was in the temple before.
So they roasted him out.
What did someone confront him, or did he just decide to take off?
They're not sure. But he's very much, you know, he apologizes for asking you to keep quiet about the interloper, you know, and not pointing him out. A Greyguard from Lumia suggested the path. He personally felt that it would have been better handled differently. But such is the chain of power.
I have a feeling I know why he fled. Then I'll report what happened with the gem.
Okay. He's disappointed that the paladins aren't going to control the gem. But he's happy that it was destroyed rather than falling into other hands.
I'm gonna say, if it hadn't been destroyed the way it was, the way it was destroyed, I would have tried to destroy it myself, because no people should be
No
in
man
control
should
of
be
such
in
a thing.
control of it.
And he, you know, it's a you know, man of my cut from the same cloth type of thing. That's his opinion as well.
Alright.
With that, he, you know, you discuss for a time
Yeah.
the happenings, and then he kind of
Tell him about the vampire.
right. And once all has kind of been settled as far as what went on there and what has gone on here, he, you know, more or less, without kicking you out, he wishes you well.
Right.
We're gonna go see the guy.
Before I go, I'm gonna ask. You said the Greyguard was from Lumea.
Yep.
Is it possible for me to talk to him, because that's where I'm from?
He's returned.
Oh, he left already.
Yeah, it wasn't somebody who stayed at the castle.
Okay.
or stayed at the
Right.
the temple.
Well, thank you anyway.
And as you exit the room, there's another familiar face waiting for you in the hallway.
Oh, good.
The old
Daddy!
archivist.
Oh. Okay.
And
He
he's
wanted to talk to you about the sword. I think.
he wanted to talk to you about your sword.
Oh.
Don't you remember that?
Well, I'm gonna start undoing my pants. Oh wait, not that. Gotcha. Yes, let us speak. I also have this book. What do you think?
He's very much eyeing the book, and he can't read it,
Right.
but he asks, do you have matters to tend to in town?
Yeah. I got some stuff I can do.
Come back, bring the book back with you, and if you can find someone knowledgeable in languages,
Rob.
we'll
Do you know which language this is?
and it's a long dead language, but it also appears to be written in code. But if we all sit down, perhaps we can extract information.
Get a start on it.
Okay. What about my sword? What do you think? Find out about this.
Uh,
I'm gonna rub the jeweled pommel a little bit.
he does have some information on the blade, and he will he'll share that. It gives you motivation to return to talk to him.
Of course.
Okay. All right. I will leave then.
As you approach the front door of the temple, a very low cleric initiate comes up and says, "Sir, we received a message via courier." Now you can read your note.
Oh.
Now you can read it.
Thanks.
Yay. Speaking of courier, I think that'd be mine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can find what I'm fucking looking for here.
I'm gonna buy a masterwork mace.
Wait, was King Dane the good guy or the bad guy?
Good guy.
Shit.
Good guy or bad guy? I don't remember.
King Dane, was he the good guy or the bad guy?
I believe he was the good guy. I don't know what
He
you're
said he
doing.
lost his war.
Yeah, he was the good guy.
Oh, okay. Well, I say shit out loud while I'm reading it.
Bullshit. Son of a bitch.
Mark, while you're shopping, a man in a cloak walks up with the note, puts it in your hand, and walks away.
Dun dun dun.
You have AIDS.
Come
Oh,
meet
you're
me after
the
night.
heroine.
We know what you.
Okay. And let it be said before I leave the town, I'll
Does it have a black hand?
collect that thing again.
Right.
Easy peasy.
Who does Lord Dane follow? So he's a different deity.
Yep.
Would I know that?
Is he from Danish land? Place where they have all those like.
It's Lord Dane Cook.
Oh God.
Likely Cord or one of the other
Cord.
war deities.
Okay.
Once everybody has finished up their stuff, are you guys going to travel back to the
North.
port, no-tell motel that you guys are staying?
Yes.
I'm assuming Jorgenel's going to have some sort of encounter here shortly.
You can pass through if you want. I won't actually molest you this time. Unless you don't want to. If you want to stay over there.
Nice seal. The paladin seal of the ejaculating penis.
I would say mushroom stamp or what?
I'm like, I don't have any pick art.
I thought you would have like drawn something like just the penis shape and just like some.
Are you going to get food, drink, anything while you're there?
You gotta find a stable, buddy.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you are going to have to find a stable.
You're gonna have to get a stable relationship.
Welcome to first world problems.
There's a stable out back.
Okay. I'll bring Robot's horse there too.
All right.
So Robot's horse, my horse, and Jefferson Wolf can find a little
Partake of
area
some horseplay.
outside to hang out in.
Have you seen goat play?
So go do it.
Upon your arrival,
Okay.
you go to pay the stable master. You notice your pouch is a bit lighter.
Son of a bitch!
By 30 gold.
It's a lot.
That
A
is
lot
a
later.
lot. That is a very
If you
lot.
have 30 gold. I don't even know if you have 30 gold. If you don't have 30 gold, half of what you have.
30 silver.
Everything.
I have 47 gold. So I
And
have
now you have 17.
17 gold.
Hmm.
All right, so you got the missive. You guys are the only ones who haven't returned quite yet.
Get the fuck out of Mark.
Uh,
Take all his money.
return. You
I spent all my
go ahead and go. Return. I have words with Lord Rebella yet.
Oh, you do you?
Yes.
It's a rubella disease.
It is.
Okay.
Rebella, not rubella.
Damn it.
I'm gonna go secure lodging for myself.
I'm down with the
Rooms
sickness.
alone.
I'm gonna see if I can gain audience with
Of course, I'm sleeping.
Of course.
the Lord again.
Yep.
How much does it cost for
Slam
a
down
room?
the note,
Okay.
Tens of
but I'm still gonna
silver.
be respectful. I'll be like, this note. I require you to tell me everything you know about the individual.
I am slightly
And
upset.
he shares that when he showed up, he had the proper paperwork, or what appeared to be the proper paperwork, and was appointed.
Where was he from? Do you know?
Came from the council in Lumea.
Mm.
And I'm assuming you threw the paperwork where he could read it.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, it's troubling to him as well.
Someone has infiltrated our order. Perhaps the Grey Guard was correct. We needed to find out more information, but we did not.
Come find us and you won't get attacked. Probably.
So you've all arrived. Guy is pissed off.
Guy is sleeping with one eye open, feathering an arrow from his bow.
Just you hear him slapping around papers. You hear him just stringing his bow.
Oh,
You hear him playing his fancy new lute.
Once I get to I'm taking a nice hot shower,
It's an electric lute.
polish my armor,
Polish your armor.
meditate,
Or make shower babies, whichever you want to call it.
meditate with my sword.
Wrapping presents in the
Fire
shower.
off your little children.
What I will do is I'm gonna jerk it, and then I'd like to call the lion to see.
To help jerk.
How's he gonna help? Realize their tongues are like serrated.
You're thinking the wrong way, man. Literally.
The lion shows up. What the fuck are you doing?
I just want you to watch.
I love it. I love it when somebody's watching. I have no one else.
Well, let's see what he thinks of the book. If he has any idea what's.
It's not a language he recognizes. There were legends in his time even that some in the High Order wrote in code in ancient languages, but
All right. That's all I wanted to ask you. Please continue and heal go heal yourself. This
he
could
was
wait.
he was looking pretty good. I
Okay.
mean, he wasn't looking great, but
Right. Like maybe he regenerated hit points, but not his
and
levels
he
yet.
may have gotten a level back
Okay.
because a day has passed.
So it's important to take care of yourself. Also, please go back to the.
How much does the room cost, by the way?
Just whoop, leg up like only cats can do.
He comes to Kevin. He's just like, I can't quite reach. Can you help me?
When you guys go in to pay for the room,
You're good.
the tavern keep lets you know that Jordan has made sure that should you arrive, that your rooms are covered
Swell.
by his goodwill.
Who?
He'll cover the bill. The ship captain.
Oh. Nice. Forgot about that guy.
I think that's the one session I missed. I don't remember what the fuck happened with that one.
We don't remember what we were here for. So yeah.
We fought people and
Alright.
ran away.
Going to bed.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
So you're not going to go meet with the archivist?
Oh, I thought he was coming back like tomorrow.
Oh, you could go back tomorrow if you want.
Well, that's what I thought. So I thought.
Yeah.
You did.
No, that's so be it. Okay. It was tomorrow. You're going back tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm going back.
All right. I'll turn in for the night. Rest.
You all take a nap.
Just cause. Cause I can, unlike your bait and paladin.
Look,
We enjoy the
I
world.
did lots of stuff.
You're just not feeling up to it.
Tabby, are you going with him? To see
Yes.
the archivist?
Let me go back to the archivist.
Sure. I have decided that I cannot use this to find what I want yet.
As you
More than 1,000 people.
as you travel towards the temple, roll a reflex save.
Oh my god.
Not you, Kevin. You don't need to.
14. What do I use for that?
Do you guys
Reflex.
tell any of us where you're going?
Okay,
You
there it
disappear?
is. 16. 16.
While you're walking just kind of off from the side, an old woman almost falls, like grabs at you and like falls. But you stay out of her grasp, and she's just like pleading in like a croaking old voice.
Gypsy witch.
You must free his soul. You must. I've seen the vision. It's you who can save him. The soul of Staver. And a young man comes rushing over and grabs her, and just.
Rockets are on the
Well,
side.
he's obviously like scolding her, but not.
Distressed a little bit.
Yeah, he's distressed by it.
Like, please.
Unhand her!
He's just like, mother, you cannot present yourself like this with the House of Vendel. They should not see you groveling in the streets.
I say that. Unhand her!
He's gonna turn and look at you like
Really?
shocked that you would speak to him like this. And shortly, after he gets there, his entourage, so to
He's
speak,
got an entourage?
shows up.
Please, let her speak.
And she continues to just repeat the same thing over and over and over.
Well, I need to
Save
hear
his
what she's
soul.
saying.
She just continually repeats that.
I'm gonna,
Save his
I'm gonna look at the next person closest to her that is sane.
That would be the guy that.
The guy.
Her son. What is this she speaks of? Save his soul.
Staver was it would be her half-brother in the House Vendel. He died years ago on an expedition into the desert.
I whisper to Lisa, I just found our next side quest.
Yeah, literally. And she claims that she had a vision.
She doesn't claim anything.
Oh.
That's literally all she does. She just wild-eyed and she just keeps
Okay.
repeating the same thing over. And after you
Okay.
get the information from the man, he's not forcing her,
Coaxing
but
her.
he's coaxing her away, and the entourage is still eyeing you guys warily.
Alright. We're gonna just stow this information away for now.
I'm gonna tell you that I had a dream of a man who said one word to me, which was Staver.
Which is my brother's name.
Or Stabber?
Staver. Did I tell you about?
I'm assuming you guys brought Rob along too,
Oh, okay.
Yes!
because you needed Rob. I forgot about that till
Yes,
right
we-
now.
we
did
Until I
actually.
traveled
Yeah.
back up in my notes, and I'm like, oh yeah, they needed Rob.
Yes. Rob
Yes,
was
we
with
have
us.
Rob because he's
Also
the
roll a
language
spot.
person.
Did you want to rob you of the chance
Spot
to
is 18.
7.
You
What?
both notice that at the mention of the House Vendel, that Rob is intrigued.
Does he know something?
He may.
He's just turning
What
all
is it
regal
that
and
you
just.
know, Rob?
Hey, buddy, what do you
He one thing at a time. Let's go talk to the archivist when we get
Okay.
back.
All right.
Sorry, distractions.
Yep. No, I know.
We accepted
I'm
the
not
side
arguing.
quest.
I want.
To
Let's go.
wrap
It
up.
was important that you guys know because Rob should have shared that he knows this knowledge if he was here. But
Right.
so you get back there and you guys are gonna spend this full day.
Yep.
With the archivist.
Nice.
Ultimately,
I got to meet Swiss.
what he'll reveal to you, Kevin, and this is in no way going to be in game terms because
It's too complicated.
it's too complicated to.
Big, big CD.
I'm sure there's stories and lore and things that they're not able to read everything, but they can kind of
Beef ribs I had, maybe.
dig out parts and pieces and start deciphering some of it.
Okay.
I have to find my.
Beef ribs from that cow.
Where in the hell is it?
It was like the bone, a little bit of meat.
Save
the
this for
fuck?
They were half brother, half sister. Died in the desert many
He
years
didn't
ago.
cut him very nice.
I guess I don't. Recently,
That's all zombie stuff. It's not in zombie stuff.
Well,
Beaver
I
bird
mean,
might
we
be-
are
I
kind of
read it
zombie
and it gives me
people.
plus 10 to all my stats.
No, he'll be able to tell you about
We did Canada
kind of the
Pork
abilities of
in a crock pot. Or slow.
where
She
The
just makes
sword?
the broth
The
and grinds
sword.
them.
The sword.
If you want to
The
put part of yourself in it, you can,
sword.
but
The
it's
S word.
really good, and then she uses the
S
sword
word.
for soups.
Shit.
Sword. S
Really
word.
good.
No, it's shit.
No.
That's word is shit.
I got half a gallon.
This is a PG rated YouTube channel, so you need to calm your language.
I completely
Yeah, for
tried.
fuck's sakes.
Balls, big
With all
balls.
of the dwarf buttholes.
We never said any swears when we said
There's no
dwarf
swears in
butthole.
Yeah.
It's a dwarf bending over, spreading his butt.
There we go. So Kevin, what you've
Anally
learned
a
about it, as far as what you can get and translating it into character sheet terms, it is a +1 holy longsword, and it also offers, with a command word once per day, 4 spells: Divine Sacrifice, Zeal,
Jeez.
Cure Moderate Wounds, and Restoration.
Magical dwarf butthole.
So what does it work?
I can use each one of those once per day or one
Each
of those
one
ones?
once per day, as long as you're able to cast the spell.
Right. So I have to be
Adequate level.
Adequate
of the right level. Gotcha.
Thank you, Ben.
Welcome.
Can I have one too?
No.
Please.
Here, you take these cups.
You're my best friend.
Mark, take those cups.
What?
Take those cups.
Okay.
2 cups, 1 mark. You wanna watch that one?
No.
Well, that gets
Gross.
weird. Actually, depends what the cups are filled with.
Anything else to discuss with him?
Other people's semen.
No.
I'm gonna ask him if he
Too much
knows
dribble for him.
anything about. I got 3 things. The old dude from the woods who.
Yeah.
What was his name? The guy that corrupted.
Crunchy
That we're
McCumbeard.
assuming that.
Oh, Lord Veldarius?
Yeah, the guy that corrupted him.
Demetrius.
Demetrius,
See, it's
yeah.
much, it's just
He-
fun just
the
to
name
try
is-
because, we have to
Doesn't
touch you.
ring true
See your
to
presence.
Anything
Anything.
else?
anything he knows.
Okay. I'm gonna ask him about
Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
anything,
Ow.
any insights he might have
I
had
get
to
the
the
point.
evil guy that was
Yeah.
here, and the Grey Guard.
At this point, he's heard about it.
Get out of here.
And given his experience and given the amount of magical capabilities of those that are evil, it could be, you know, the Temple of Hronis has many enemies.
Right.
It could be any of them.
Could be any of them.
You know, it obviously isn't going to be a petty horde, but any of your major factions, the devils, the demons, you know, your lich lords, and
I feel like it's probably Hextor, but whatever. What was the other thing I was gonna ask him? I know. I can't remember.
Well, we're gonna talk to Rob about Staver later.
What a bag of
Staver,
holding type
that's what
1
I'm-
be able to call?
Does he know anything about the house?
It's like 2,500 gold.
the House Staver, or the House Vendel, very wealthy trading family in the city. Staver was a little bit high and mighty. He felt his wealth could buy him anything, and he was very adventurous. Oftentimes, you know, writing checks that his wallet had to back up. Nothing evil about the family, just
Right.
wealth has a corruption
Gotcha.
effect
Element to
with it.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's was the book about the sword?
Some of the book, what they got out of it was about the sword.
Nice. Nothing else?
Something Rob could work on in his free time,
You could try, but
given the knowledge that he has now of what they've deciphered.
Code. Can you tell what the magic on the book was?
the book didn't glow magic.
Oh, I thought it did.
No.
It was just in the magic
It's just
room.
a book. Okay.
This
I think that's all I have for this guy. That's my whole day.
There's nothing else new that you may have that may have shown up to you in mysterious circumstances on your way.
Talking to me?
No, talking to Kevin.
What?
Spoiler, yes, there is probably something we're forgetting.
You texted something?
I didn't text you
Pat my
anything.
pockets, see if they have anything.
Yeah,
I don't personally remember what you're talking about, so
yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I haven't been up since 6 this morning. I'm sleepy.
No, I hear you. I was getting your
boy.
stuff done so you have food for thought, and we'll pick it up here in the town
Okay.
the next time, but that was kind of my thought on it. I'm assuming, given the XP that you got from the last session, people are close to leveling. So the next session, bring leveled up character sheets because you'll get it.
Oh. Text her.
I know.
Probably 2,000.
She's there. She can be like,
The lion?
Oh yeah. Should I just summon him? Summon him.
okay, you're gonna summon him.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I got this cool ass lion.
Yeah. Check this out.
He does tricks.
Ultimately,
Strix does the leg thing.
he can lick his own butthole.
Back again.
He got that party dance.
Bring him
once.
back around
Yeah.
as often as possible.
He's obviously drawn back by it.
It's like, ooh,
It's like, I heard I was supposed to get a horse, but this is what showed up. I don't know.
And he goes and hustles into the archives and he finds books and he's flipping through books and basically, if his eyes aren't deceiving him, it is Pelagris Rur, companion of Brigith Tor in times past.
Brigith Tor. Who's that?
And ultimately,
Wait, we went to Brigith Dur.
the assumption is that
Brigith all over the place.
he obeys the master of the blade, basically.
So you got him because of your sword.
He's a familiar friend. I'm gonna go back over
And
there.
with the mention of Brigith Tor, you can see that there's some contemplation within the lion. So,
It appears.
food for thought for you guys. Everybody else has parts and pieces. We will pick up here next session. And like I said, level up your characters because the next session is small, but there's
Fierce.
XP in it.
XP pack.
Small but fierce. Did you get it?
I got you.
I know.